Hey, beautiful people. Before I go to bed, I just wanted to chat with you guys really quickly before I sleep. So, today was my birthday, and I had a really cool day. And I wanted to thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. I got y'all messages throughout the day, and it was just really sweet. Thank you guys. Y'all love me so much, and I appreciate that. So, I did want to come live and thank you guys. Oh man, I don't want to mess up your name. All right. Shadrack and Black. I do it every time. I need to take notes of your name. Did I get it right this time? How are you doing? Oh, thank you. Knowledge and relationships. What's good with you? Thank you so much. I had a good day. You guys, so I really, really wanted to come live yesterday. Hey, Edgar. I missed you guys so much. So I'm just gonna have a quick chat with you guys. Like number 3 thing. Did I mess up your name? Tell me. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with me when it comes to that name. Shack Racking Black. Ugh, whatever. I try to get your names right. But yeah, you guys, it was sweet. So I did want to come live yesterday, but I'm going to tell you what's going on. I did not know that anemia was such a big fucking deal. But I am struggling with it. I'm like, out of all the things that could go wrong with me, it's anemia. I was going to show you this book that I got on food. And oh, thank you, Edgar. Thank you. I was gonna show you guys this book that I had got on food because this shit is putting me in a hospital. I cannot spend my life in a hospital. Okay, but yeah, so I didn't get to do my Sunday show, and it was a short stay. Like it was just whatever. But that's what happened, and then I couldn't come live earlier. But it's just my iron levels are low. My hemoglobin levels are low, and I keep going to the fucking hospital for it. So hopefully I got things back on track, but that's what it is. Yeah, today's my birthday. Hey, Shaq Rocking. Oh, did I get Shaq Rocking? Is that it? Okay. Hey, Evelyn, Shaq Rocking. Why do I keep saying Shaq Rocking? Shaq Rocking. Okay. Did I get his name right, y'all? Shaq Rocking, but I think, hey, boo, happy birthday, hon. Thank you, Newbie. How are you doing, my friend? Thank you. Hey, Bees Corbett. Hey, Real Fat. So, anyway, so that's what happened there. I had a short stay at the hospital again, and that's fine. You don't get to know those people. I did? So that's it. And I had a challenge today because I said, how the fuck do I stay sober today, right? Because I think it's Shah King. Okay. I think I got it right now. So we went out and to dinner and stuff. It was a really cool day, and I did not have a glass of wine. So I give myself kudos because I don't know why I was struggling with that. I don't drink, but you know how sometimes you just want to do something because of the day? But I didn't do it. I got through it. What else? And do I mess it up? What? Happy birthday, Mom. Wishing you nothing but the best of the best. Thank you. So yeah, so now that I am a year older, whatever, I just think okay, and I don't know. I'm waiting for May 21st, which is my other milestone where I celebrate my 2nd year in sobriety. And that's just what it is. I gotta tell you that this year, 2024, let me tell you something that happened. I was minding my business in somebody's chat, right? They want to bring up something from a long time ago having to do with Don Cato and that whole Snoopy situation and shit like that. You guys cannot. Y'all gotta move on with your commentary because at the end of the day, I see that shit for what it is, and I'm not going backwards. And I think it was interesting that on my birthday, somebody wanted to bring that up, like that's supposed to bring me down or get me pressed. It's not gonna work. That has to be the most tired storyline that I've been involved with. Okay, not interested, not even giving commentary on it. But I just want you guys to know that if you guys think that shit's gonna make me feel another a certain kind of way? No. I see it and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to feel? Nothing. That tells me that you guys are tired of the commentary. You guys are bored, and whenever people are bored, they try to bring up some MU shit, right? Or don't mess with me in chats, because even though over here I've been pretty peaceful, that don't mean for you guys to try me in y'all spaces. Because enough of that, because I'm trying to stay on a positive tip and shit. But I just feel like people be trying me, and y'all know that some of this commentary out here is just lame, it's forced, it's inorganic. What do you guys think? There's so much going on in the world today, and I just think that people are just, I don't know. I don't know. But that Don Cato shit isn't gonna work. That shit is old, tired, stale, the stallest tea that y'all can come up with. All right, recycling beef, that's not cooking. Exactly, real fact. How you doing? Just observing. I got a message about you. Do you have a different name? Just observe. Oh, maybe you added the Valhalla. Did you change your name? Happy birthday, Amy. Yeah, so that's that. What else is going on, y'all? But there's just a lot. And so since I'm not really online, I can't really give you guys. Good morning, Lester. I stopped paying attention to what was happening really online because I'm definitely not interested in the Mo3 sector against the B sector. I'm not interested in that. I like both sectors. Okay. And I'm going to continue to watch both sectors. Not the doxing shit, but I'm going to watch everything else. But as far as anything that's stressful or anything like that, I'm not on that kind of tip. And I'm not at all. All right. But like I said, don't try me. Don't try me. I have to get to year 3 being sober. There's really not shit else going on because I did a poll on Candace Owens, right? Let me see where that poll is. Are any of you keeping up with stuff like that? So, oh shit. We have that stuff with Candace Owens. We have the stuff going on with, I guess, DDP. What's his name? Puffy P. Diddy? Whatever. Don't ask me who my sources are. Just observing. That's rule number 1. No, I was just wondering about your name, and then I realized who you were with the last name. You're welcome in the chat. Don't worry about it. Someone had asked me if you had changed your name, and I said I don't know, but you don't need to know who, fool, unless you want to hit my link and have a conversation with me. But we have no issues. It was not a big deal. People are trying to figure out who's in what sector, and that's all it was. So, you're always welcome. Actually, I'll pin a link for you guys if y'all want to come up. But I'm not gonna be here long because I'm not paying attention to really what's going on. But I have been watching the news, so I'm following the Candace Owens thing. But you guys didn't really seem to be that interested in that. You didn't want to be that interested in that, but the elections are coming up, so obviously I'm watching the politics and things like that. And I think it was interesting that she had got fired from. And she had got, yeah, we're cool. If you want to know anything, just send me a message or something like privately, but I don't say who, stuff like that. It was no big deal. Let me go to this poll. I know you guys didn't seem that interested in Candace, but I don't follow news. Okay. So do you know who Candace Owens is? So I put my poll. Candace Owens was fired from the Daily Wire for allegedly promoting I can't pronounce this word, anti-Semitism. And out of 275 votes, 48% of you said yes, 28% of you said no. But I understand a lot of you guys don't follow that. I don't follow really celebrity news, but I do think it's interesting what's going on with I don't know if you call him P. Diddy or Puffy or what the fuck his name is. But there's just a lot of things that's going on. So I don't know. To me, it seems like a lot of things are a distraction. And I can see why some people don't follow the news because you really don't know what to believe these days. I can converse on 1,000 different topics, but the news and current events is definitely not one of them. It's all fake to me. That's what I was just saying real fast. I was just saying that. But, oh, you know who she is? Yeah. So, I just think that, oh, thank you guys. I just think that Diddy ran. I don't think they're ever going to find him again. Lester, why do you okay, I was talking about Candace Owens. Like, you guys, I am really concerned about Candace because I don't think it was fair that she got fired. But maybe I'll make a video clip on it. especially since I don't cover the news over here. But that really bothered me. Even though I don't agree with everything that she says and does, but you know, getting fired on that show, it just kind of bugged me. I can't pronounce that word. I think that's BS because these are the only. I think that's BS because these are the only people that can't be criticized for speaking on real facts. So I think you could see why I'm a little irritated about it. I just wish that people were. There's just a lot, but because you gotta be so careful with what you say and stuff like that, I don't know. If you guys knew the comment that she had said, you can't see my link. What are you talking about? You guys, she had made a comment that was really controversial and it's still coming up. This was a while back. And you just have to be so careful. And I just wish that people cared about, African American causes the same. And it's just a lot. I think the story is so layered. And then the P. Diddy thing that came up, was it today? Like, wow, there's just a lot that's going on. Now, Lester says they're probably not gonna be able to find them. I don't listen to that kind of music. I don't follow. I really don't know anything besides what happened with Cassie. Was it Cassie? Yeah, Cassie. That went on with him. I don't know. Not interested. I'll just be watching like the rest of you guys. But wait a minute. Let me drop a link. Someone I think is asking. So, on a different note. Oh, thank you, Benny. On a different note, I got an interesting email today without disclosing who that person is, because I won't. They had asked me, why don't I do beef sector commentary anymore or cover the sectors? It's not that I don't want to cover the sectors. It's just that I am really, really interested in other stuff. Not because I feel like this, if I want to go and hear about beef sector stuff, I'm going to go over there in the beef sector, right? But I just started working and all that stuff. I went to school and now, I got hired right away and that stuff is kind of cool. So I'm kind of excited about that kind of stuff. And so it's a little hard for me because I'm gone all day to go back and cover the sector. So I can tell you that there's some streams that I have watched. Like King Roman News has been really, he's one of my favorite content creators. And it's nice to see him finding his lane, his zone, his audience. I like King Roman News and stuff like that, but you guys, I just can't anymore because I'm not in the YouTube streets like that. So that's just what it is. I understand some of you in my inbox, but I didn't go to school and all that stuff to not talk about addiction and mental health and stuff like that. So, some of you are going to rock with me and some of you aren't, but that's just the direction that I feel better going in or talking about stuff that I see in the news. All right. So I hope that we're good with that. Diddy has been foul. Like what? Like, no, I do know, I do agree, and I did feel bad about what happened with Cassie, and I think that she got some kind of justice. Oh, there you go. Are you keeping your camera on? Okay, let me bring up Newbie.
Hey, darling.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. Is it your birthday today? Are we leaving it coming into today? Okay, happy birthday, my love. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. I don't think that I have ever hit your link. I think this is my first time being up here.
Welcome.
So, I always feel welcome. I'm always in the chat or in the bushes. I'm always watching. So thank you so much. I just wanted to come and tell you happy birthday, and I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you on your journey. You know that.
Yeah, I had my first day. I got hired right after school, right after I graduated, right? And it just feels weird. Everything is so different now. You know what I mean? So it's like what I was trying to say was it's kind of hard to come out here and fight and do all that crazy stuff
Mhm.
after, you know what I mean? It just doesn't quite feel the same. So I feel good, and I'm just grateful for life because I didn't have to be here. And
Mhm.
so I wanted to come live and just say thank you guys. Thank y'all for the birthday wishes. Thank you for the support. I appreciate all of it because it has been a long journey and I still have a long way to go.
That's all right. That's all right. We all have things that we can improve in our lives. It's a constant journey. Like we're constant. The moment you stop growing, then I just don't even know. We're always growing. We're always learning, and we all have a past. You know where me and you started. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was a whole lot, but I'm not interested in yesterday. I'm interested in right now, and where you going tomorrow. That's it.
I
That's it.
appreciate that. And we did have it's been interesting, but I'm not mad
Mhm.
at it because I get it. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Now that my head is clear, I can see what people are saying to me, why people were angry, frustrated, all those kind of things. Like, I get it.
Mhm. Mhm. But all it takes, you were very, let me just say this, you were very, because I have, my moments. I always wanted to like you. And when we had that conversation, I told you that, like, I always wanted to like you, but sometimes it was like, you know what? I cannot. But when I asked my questions, you didn't have to answer them, but you did. I asked my questions, you answered them, and I got it. I absolutely got it. And I'm right here for it. Let me tell you something. I'm an old lady. You know that.
You
I'm
look
so
good,
glad.
girl. And I'm not
Thank
saying that
you.
because you're on the panel, because there's some funny looking people around us. But, I'm not lying, but I'm just saying there are. I can't help that. But you look good. You're stout. Now, see that dress that you're wearing, I can rock that. I can see myself. I don't have a dress like that, but I love that style.
Thank you. And this is, you know what? This is something I lifted this from my daughter. I was at her house across the weekend and I saw that you're like, oh, she don't need this. So
No,
yeah,
that is
I
so.
stole this from my daughter. So yeah, I don't even know where she got it from, but this was my daughter's and I
Is
took it
it
from her.
long or short? Is it like a long dress?
It's, let me
Oh,
see.
I see it. It's long. It's
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah, I like the cut. That's why I took it because I like the
The
flow
fabric,
at the
it
bottom.
feels nice. It's really pretty. Yeah, I like that. See, now I'm getting some idea. Hey, 504, thank you, real fat. Thank you guys. So I love that style. I love the hair, and I'm getting some ideas.
Thank you. Thank you. You like the hair. They were roasting me. I forget where I was last weekend. They were roasting me about my fro. But it just is what it is. Me and this fro, my hair's name is Luna. I call her Luna. Me and this hair been through some stuff. She just is what she is. I let her do her own thing. And that's it. That's it. But
But
thank you.
they say thank you, Real Game Radio. Thank you. But they say they want it to be natural. Wear your hair natural, and then when you wear your hair natural, they talk about it.
That's
So it's
that's
like you
it.
can't win. But your hair looks great. I want to do mine in a blowout, but
Mhm.
yeah, no, I can't keep a hairstyle longer than a day now.
I don't know if you caught my video the other day, and I'm not trying to self promote. There is this brush on the market called the Unbrush. I don't know if y'all seen the advertisements for this.
Thought I saw your last live. You weren't. Maybe it wasn't the last one. Maybe it was the one before that one because I didn't hear you talking about the brush. Go ahead.
Unbrush. It's called the Unbrush. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on TikTok Shop. That brush is everything. When I tell you it is the best detangler I have ever come across in my life. So when you just want to wear your natural and do your my daughters wear wigs and that damn brush. It's called the Unbrush.
A second.
Go and get that brush. I
This
advise it. That's it. That's the one. That brush is magic. When
really?
I tell you it's witchery, yes.
Yeah, I
I
got
have
different colors. Wait.
They got different colors and sizes because there's like a mini one and then there's a
And this is for
normal
our
size.
kind of hair.
Yep.
You see that? Okay.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Okay.
Absolutely. I cannot rave about that brush enough because when I detangle, when I shampoo and detangle, it's usually like a hour, 2 hour process. When I tell you, you can take that brush from your root and pull, and it goes straight through.
Really?
Get the brush, get the brush, get the brush. And when you get it, let me know, and we will revisit this conversation. It is magic.
I'm
It is
gonna order
absolutely magic.
it. Hey, thank you, Noble. I'm gonna order it. Because yeah, I'm gonna order the brush because I can use it. And my son. I don't know if you guys have seen my son's hair in these videos. Y'all notice he has the same kind of. I don't know what to do with my son's hair, but it gets so tangled because he has really fine hair and he has tight, like he has curls. And I don't know. And some people think, oh, you can run your hands through that kind of hair. It gets so tangled. And it gets so if you're not careful, it get matted. Hey, Ms. Marshall. Yes, I had an amazing birthday once I got out the hospital. Thank you. So yeah, I will order that brush. And I will, you know what? I should use the brush and tag you in that video.
Okay.
Make a video with my son. Look at you, all stylish and stuff. But I do gotta tell you, I don't come down in your chat a lot of times because I'm driving. But I love the fact that you have commentary and you actually bring us some stuff because you know I appreciate your channel.
Thank you.
I do.
Thank you. I try, and I'm trying to push myself to do more content. But MU, I'm here for what the sector gives, right? But I don't engage in it a whole lot. And so then I'll get an idea, and then I feel like don't nobody want to hear what I'm talking about because I'm not talking about the sector goings on. You know, I'm talking about other stuff, and I just feel like people may not. You know what I mean? I don't want to bore people to death. I don't know, but I hear people like you say, I appreciate what you bring, Newbie. And I'm going to try to do more, but I just the rah, I listen to it, but I
was gonna ask you about that. Give me 1 second. I messed up trying to multitask with someone in the chat. But
okay.
I understand right now for me, it's like because I enjoyed the old beef sector stuff. You know, when I first came over, I agree, 504 girl. When I first came over, people, I didn't come down because I didn't know who was who, right? Y'all were on camera. It was like roasting back and forth, but there really was no harm to it. It was more like, do you know what I'm saying? It was like, or some of you would do story time. Some of you would cover, you know, would do reviews and stuff like that. I enjoyed it. This stuff now, and I'm not talking about with everybody in the beef sector, it just seems forced to me. And the like y'all beefs were not just beef, like, okay, we're mad at each other. They were friendships that fell apart, and then you had a beef, right? So I kind of miss some of that stuff, but right now I'm kind of checked out a little bit. It's so
dark.
not really heavy and dark in a lot of it. And it's not because of you guys. It's just because of a lot of stuff. I don't know. Maybe newer people, younger people. I don't know. But it's just a little dark. So when I see your channel, I'm with 504 Girl. She says, I've always enjoyed your lives. I had fun when I was on your panel on your birthday before.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we appreciate that kind of stuff. But, you know, some of the stuff, I mean, I'm not saying everybody with the sector. All right, now I'm not going to lie. This is so wrong with me. But listening to Dovey and Ro, I know you're not touching it, but there's something like it comes out the blue, and then you're like, when did this happen? I did not know Honest Ro. I never seen him upset like that before, not really. So, you know, I watched that stuff and I'm like, all right, that's harmless because they're just going to argue back and forth. They're not going to do anything to each other. You know, get over it if they haven't already.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I just like, all right. But it's just been a lot. So I haven't really been tuned in as much because I want to laugh. I want to have fun. I want to stress.
And that's where I'm at. When it gets just too dark, too much, too heavy, I tune out. I can't with, you know, because everybody is here for a different reason. Everybody gets something different out of it, you know? And this is where I come to just kind of relax and laugh and get a good. Now, I always get accused of Newbie not innocent. I've never said that I'm innocent. Y'all have no freaking idea, okay? I am far from innocent. But I just, again, the only way I can say it, MU, is that I will watch the rah-rah, but I don't care to engage in it. For me, it does nothing for me to engage in it. I'm gonna shut up right there. I'm gonna shut up because I
No,
don't want
I
to say
know
too
what
much.
you mean, but you never said that you were innocent. You're just saying, okay, yeah, you watch it and stuff like that, but it has become dark. I don't know if you guys have felt it, but it almost seems like it's just gonna get darker because people want the numbers, people want the. But the problem is, once you have your big one, you have to have a bigger one and a bigger one and a bigger one, and it just keeps going. And I'm like, damn, it's like a tumor or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the regular, if I know, okay, nobody's gonna get hurt, nobody's gonna go get doxxed and all that shit, we're not gonna call CPS, I can enjoy y'all beefs. I'm not gonna lie. I like to hear that. I'm actually probably addicted to that stuff because I'm like, oh damn, you know. And I've been known to get into some beefs, but it's just the CPS stuff. It's just the let's get this person fired and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to
Yeah,
see our people torn down at the same time. I don't
right.
want to see that. And
That's a
maybe
bit much.
it is too much because their life is affected. Now people don't think that, but when it happens to them, when the doxing
Mm-hmm.
happens to them, they want to hurry up
Mm-hmm.
and put papers on you. They can't handle it, but you're supposed to handle it. And then they
Right.
like to say stuff like, God don't play about me, but does he play about his other kids?
Right. Right.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I can't come on here and judge anybody because I've probably made the most mistakes out of all of you. However, I'm not trying to go down that path anymore.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know that you've made the most mistakes. You just made different mistakes from other people.
I could accept that because I've never
Yeah.
tried to hurt anybody. My things was just trusting too many people. I mean, I'm not even talking about the relapse and stuff. That's one thing, all of that shit. But it's just been a lot, and I think that it's just been a lot publicly.
Mm-hmm.
One thing after another after another. So when I tell you that, all right, it's nice to be able to go to school and finish it. It's nice to be able to come up on 2 years of sobriety. Then those are the things that I just want to talk about over here. And when I want to hear about beef sector stuff or Mo3 sector stuff or black sector stuff, then I just go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Just going in a different direction. But you know, it is what it is. And for some of you that don't know Newbie, since she's up here, tell us about your channel real quick. Tell them how to find you. Hey Latricia.
Well, my channel name is the same as my screen name, Nubiology 101.
Here. Wait, go ahead. Tell us about your channel.
Nubiology 101. My screen name is the same as my channel name. And I am working on going live more often and doing more content. Damn you, putting me on blast.
I'll
But
put you on blast because we got to take every opportunity. Okay, I sound like a cheerleader. It's got to take every opportunity as it comes. And this is a different audience. So tell us how to find you.
well, Nubiology 101. And you just never know what you're going to get when you come to Newbie Lane. I do spoken word and I talk about herb and the weather and life issues. And sometimes I engage in the mess. So you just never know what you're going to get. But I am very open-minded and I allow free speech on my channel. It's about what I can learn and what we can learn from each other. And yeah, that's about it.
You know what? Thank you. I should have told you when I drink this sweet tea, this shit has me so hyper. So I was like, go shout out your channel. And you're like, girl, calm down. I've been trying to get rid of some of the sugar in my diet, but today I did splurge for my birthday. I had
Okay.
I had a sweet tea, and then we went out to damn, where's that restaurant? BW's or something like that, or BJ's, or I shouldn't say BJ, whatever fuck. Sorry. But anyways, I went out and I had just something simple, but then we had like ice cream, just stuff that I normally wouldn't eat. So I'm just really hyper. Sugar just gets me like that. Latricia, what's up, ZX? 504 girl said Newbie gives the absolute best slow, classy, educated drags I have ever heard. You never know what you're gonna get from her channel. But you know what? I think that a lot of people now, the beef sector is always going to. I heard some people say that, hey, it's falling apart. It's not falling apart. It's not going anywhere. I think that a lot of people have just called themselves beef sector and they've just attached themselves to certain storylines. But the original people, yeah, of course, some people stop making beef sector commentary, but it's not falling apart. It's still there. And it's gonna be there. All right. People like that kind of commentary.
You're right.
Including myself. So I don't agree with that. I think that what people don't understand, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Nuby, is just that they're not going to fight with everybody, especially if they're outside of the sector or if they know that they're just trying to write off of their name or something like that. And I'm just speaking in general.
And the other thing, right, they're not going to fight with everybody. And one of the things that we hear all the time is that you can't tell people how to fight. You can't tell people how to fight. Myself, I've had people come at me for just unwarranted, unsolicited, just coming at me. And I don't know if I'm deemed as weak because I don't want to come out scratching and cussing. I don't get anything out of that. If you get me here, I'm ready to get physical. I'm not proud of that. I'm just telling you what it is. I don't get anything out of the verbal. That does nothing for me. So you can't tell me how to fight either because I play a long game and it is silent.
I know.
It's deadly at the end. By the time I holler checkmate, see, I don't come out issuing idle threats and talking about what I will do. You get your notice when you notice I'm on your ass. That's what I'm extending. That's it. You know what I mean?
I know.
So, it's just, you can't tell people how to fight. If they decide to give us a show, sit back and watch the show, but you can't be disappointed when they choose not to. Because that's not I get it, because it's not my get down. I don't have no energy for the verbal back and forth, because after we get done screaming and everybody's blood pressure is all high, then what? I mean, and
it's hard for you subscribers, for the subscribers sometimes, because you want to side with your favorite content creator and your favorite content creator gets into a beef and then you take their side and then they make up and you guys are on some emotional roller coaster. Hey, Atlanta girl, you guys are on an emotional roller coaster. Newbie does do a slow drag and she's very patient. And that's the worst. That's the worst. I mean, she'll get you when she gets you, but I think it's the ones that take their time with it. They're not impulsive. Those are the ones you gotta look out for.
Right. And here's the thing.
Think about what you're gonna do.
People talk about, some people call it like subbing, and if you don't direct it, if it ain't directed, it ain't respected. I look at that and I'm not shitting on anybody for how they do whatever it is that they do. But here's my thing. I might come out and say something. It could be completely random, just something that was on my mind. But the minute you step up and say, I think she's talking about me, you just told everybody that you relate to whatever it was that I said. It touched you. It affected you because my name is Nuby. If you call me Shadoobie, I'm not going to answer because that's not my name.
That's not your name. And it's what you answer to.
Right. And you answer to what relates to you. So for the people, I think she talking about me. No, you feel like that relates to you. You get what I'm saying? And I love doing that. I need you to, I will throw some stuff out there, but if it's not yours, don't step up and own it. It's the people that I make.
But you got a sharp tongue. When you get upset, you go in.
But if it don't apply, let it fly. And that's it. That's it. That's it. And what? Oh, Jesus Christ!
That's like, when you get into an argument with somebody, they're gonna say what they think is gonna hurt you, right? So I know going into a battle or a roast, they're gonna call me methy. They're gonna call me junkie. They'll probably talk about my kids because y'all know I'm a mama bear, right? But it's just like what you said, it's what you answer to. I think that people think that's gonna hurt my feelings. It doesn't hurt my feelings. There's no power in that word for me. What it actually does is make me grateful that I'm not in that place anymore. Because then those words, even when I was using those words, never hurt me. But being sober and them using that word, I realized that when you go through a journey, I don't care what your journey is. It could be a weight loss journey, whatever. They're always going to call you by something that's going to remind you of your past because they don't want you to see where you're going and they want you to identify yourself that way. They want to have power over you by using those words. So you got to be able to deal with it, own who you are or were, and move on. Especially when you're public like me, telling a story, sharing your journey. You damn well better be able to take the criticism because it's going to come. But when people call me methy or if somebody calls you whatever you used to be, all right, I don't know. You got to think about where you're going and know that those people are stuck because they need to see you that way and they want you to see yourself that way.
That's it. That's it. And when you own, and one of our first conversations, what did I tell you? When they say it, methy or whatever, say, yeah, okay, I did that. And then what? Because
it took me a minute. It took me a minute, and you would tell me you would girl, I know you was getting frustrated. And you would tell me, when I get tired, because I just kept falling for the same thing. And I'll say, hey, you know what? No, I'm good. I'm good. I remember you even told me I could drop in your chat, and I'm thinking, I can't because my mouth, I know me. I know I cannot just jump into a chat because somebody's gonna say something. And at that time, if you swing at me, I'm swinging at everybody. I was so sensitive. And I didn't see that I was that sensitive until I stopped responding. Because you have to sometimes stop what you're doing to be able to see it. Because when you're in the thick of it, you're in the fog and you can't see. Right? And I'm like, these people are coming at me because I'm giving them attention.
Right.
I'm responding to every damn thing. Why? I don't know these people. And you used to tell me stuff like that, and I didn't get it really. But I got it later.
Because when you own it and when you show that it doesn't bother you, they have nothing else to fight with. And I think that in that conversation, when you and I talked about that, I told you my situation, and if you don't mind, I'm going to tell it again on your panel since I'm up here. I was in a motorcycle club some years back, long time ago. I was in a motorcycle club. And it was around the time when cell phones were new and we didn't have locks on our phones and all of the things. So at the motorcycle club, my position was I checked the door. I patted down the women when they came in, and then I worked the bar. So this particular day, I'm working the bar. And I left my phone on the bar. I went into the basement to get bring some more liquor up or whatever. And I left my phone there. Well, in my phone, once again, this long time ago, we didn't have locks on phones and all that. But in my phone were some pictures and a video that I had sent Mr. But it was, you know what I mean? And so somebody got my phone, went through my phone, took those pictures and videos and sent it to their phone, and then started sharing it with the other people in the club. And the next day I'm getting calls like, oh, your cat is on the internet and they saying this about you and they saying that. And at first, I panicked like, oh my God, my children, my husband, I'm just having a fit. But I said, you know what? It just is what it is. And so the next club night, which was on Fridays, I walked in, and we would always, before club night happened, we would get there early. Everybody would greet each other and speak. All the club members sitting there. And you know how you walk in a room and it goes silent and you know that everybody was just talking about you before you came in. I knew what they were talking about. And I went right to the guy who I suspected was the one who stole my pictures in the first place. I sat right next to him and I crossed my leg. Like, what were y'all talking about? I said, yes, it was mine. That picture that's going around, it was me. It was because my face wasn't in these pictures and videos, but little mama was. I said, yeah, it's mine.
Little mama.
It was mine. And then what? It's pretty. It was shaved. It was well taken care of. And if a picture got y'all going that crazy, please understand why I don't fumble with them, because they also had an attitude, because I wouldn't mess with none of the men in the club. I don't shit where I eat, never. But when I owned it, the other women, it was women talking about me too. The other women were like, oh, what did she say? I said, yeah, that was me in the picture. Now what? There was never another word spoken about those pictures. And my point is, I know I'm kind of long-winded, but my point is, if I would have held my head down and cried and pouted and tried to over-explain, they would have kept talking about it, because they would have realized that it bothered me. The moment I owned it and said, yes, those pictures are me. And then what? There was never another word spoken about it. And that's what I was trying to stress to you. Yeah, you have a past. We all do. You were bold enough to wear your shit in public. All of us don't do that. I got some stuff that I will take to my grave. I told you that. You better than me, because there's some stuff only God knows. But when you own it and accept it and move on, what else do they have to fight with? Like, bitch, tell me something about me that I don't know.
Thank you. Exactly. You own your experiences, you own your story. I don't suggest all of you be as public. But if you're sharing something, it doesn't mean you have to share everything. But you share whatever you choose to. And I'm not even talking about online. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in your regular life. Own your story so no one can shame you, because your experiences help to shape you. So when people think that I mean, like these last situations I've been through, right? And I had to think damn, my first thought was that, okay, I'm not about to be tied to my past, right? I'm not about to, here I am in school, about to graduate and that kind of stuff. And now everything from my past is coming up, like that stuff that I forgot about, stuff like that. No, you got to just own it and keep going, no matter what it is. You can't control what people talk about, what they find out, what they dox, because we're talking about online and shit. But keep going. Like the way you handled your situations, like you took that power back. You're like, wait, you can't shame me. You know I look good. You know I'm woke up. Like the way you handle that, it's kind of like how you have to do it. I told that to people who've had camera slips. Now some of y'all have too many damn camera slips. Okay, but listen, don't keep having them if it's gonna embarrass you. But honestly, you just laugh at yourself. I've had so many moments that somebody has shown me myself on camera. I didn't tell you guys when I was like, damn, what the fuck was I thinking? You know what? But I just owned it. We all have our moments. And I think that's what it's about, accepting. And why can't we be a group of people that embrace each other, mistakes and all? Because you see these other groups, they'll cover for each other. They will justify. They're very understanding. I'm not saying they don't have their flaws, but I feel like, I don't know if it's just online where we highlight each other's flaws and try to embarrass each other, humiliate each other. But it'd be nice to see the same kind of thing. If you're trying to do better, encourage that person to do better. Right? Like as a whole. But I don't know. I think in school it's making me a little too sensitive and a little too soft. But I be thinking about stuff like that. I don't want to. There's just things I just don't want to do anymore. Even when I used to come on here and just tell you guys about how my problems and my struggles, I'm like, that's not helping anybody. They got their own. Let me tell you how I got through it instead.
Well, there's that. I mean, my whole purpose, my whole thing for even having a YouTube channel in the beginning was to give my testimony. And I've spoke about this before. when I realized that I was in a place called the beef sector, because when I got here, I didn't know where I was. I didn't know that we were in a space called the damn beef sector and how they got down. So some things I'm glad that I didn't share, because it would be for fodder and it would just be ammunition for a certain group of people to come after. But sometimes, MU, I still get on here. I do mostly uploads, and you've probably seen some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm having a bad day, I try to give a little bit of that with a solution at the end. How I got over, how I was blessed, how just even down to the simple stuff. Because, and I say this, I'm trying to get my words. I swear to God, I know I feel
I understand what you're saying, especially watching your uploads and stuff. You guys check out her channel. If you want commentary with a little bit of mess, that's how I describe it. A little, because you got a tongue. But it's still commentary though, and sometimes you have to. I mean, come on now. I'm on this positive tip, but try me. Then it won't be so positive. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're all human, and I know me. I go from 0 to 10 pretty fast. Mm-hmm. But no, I
have my moments. Trust me.
You go through something. Yeah, you could talk about it, but how did you get over it? Because you don't want to stay there. And I think that we forget with these platforms that we are influencers at the same time. You can influence people in a good or a bad way. Mm-hmm. And I think we sometimes don't get that. Mm-hmm. The power of the platform. Like, you're sitting out here, you're not just speaking to the beef sector. You're not just speaking to, if you have the beef sector there, you probably got the black sector too. Mm-hmm. You're not just speaking to them, because when you're not here, people are looking at your videos and you're talking to a lot of people, and somebody will grasp onto something that you said.
Right. And that's the thing that I try to remember, and I try to take accountability and responsibility sometimes that I don't want, but I acknowledge the fact that it's there. People are listening, people are watching. But the thing that made me be okay with sharing some of my down moments was my very own children, MU, because I was always the type of mother. My kids never saw me cry. They never saw me break down. I would legit handle things, be in business mode, handle the situation, probably where I seemed cold and callous to my children. Like, do she even care? Because I was trying to be strong and I was trying to hold things together. Because if I fall apart, everybody's going to fall apart. And then I would, after it was all said and done, I would go behind my door and I would break down and cry in my closet or where,
Yeah, and we shouldn't have. Princess, I agree with you. There is always someone trying to try you. That's right. They try you, they bait you, and then they won't tell people that they did that. They'll go acting like you did something to them, use it for commentary, or just want to mess up. There's always someone trying to try you. You got to be above that.
Right.
I know I get baited a lot, and then sometimes, it's like, damn, I'll get into this argument and that person's making commentary. Whatever. Now, as far as what Nuby would say, I think that we hold stuff in I understand what you're saying. You got to hold it together. You got your kids and they're like, do you care? But you're trying to be strong for them, right? You're trying to, so you don't want to, but like you said, you go by yourself and cry when you're not with them, and they don't see that part.
Right. But what I had to learn to do, and it was my son, the one I called Japan, he is 33. And one time he caught me when I just fell apart and had a whole breakdown, and he went into panic mode. He was like, when we see you panic, we feel like the world is coming to an end because you never panic. And that taught me something, that I need to let them see the cracks sometimes. I need to let them see the tears. I need to let them know that I am not perfect. I have my moments. I was so afraid, MU, when my kids were growing up, to let them see me have any type of weak moment. And I didn't know that was hurting them in the process, because they felt like they had to be perfect. They felt like they couldn't have emotions. And it's just the thing I had to come to accept. I didn't mean to do that to them, but I did, especially my oldest son. He said he just never felt like he had room to make mistakes. He never felt like he had room to be weak and any of that. And that's what I don't even,
Do you feel that that's cultural? Like we have to be that way as a culture. Like we try as Black women to, you know what I mean? Like we don't want to show our. Thank you, Joanna. We don't want to show our vulnerable. Joanna, where's my Tumblr flu? Thank you, Joanna. We don't. We don't want to show our vulnerable side.
Yeah,
We can't. I know when I cry, which okay, y'all. I get really emotional. I know people are telling me to stop being a Karen, stop being a Kamisha, whatever, because I'm really sensitive and I wear my emotions on my, like you guys can see what I'm going through, but I feel that it's healthy. Number one, I can't help it because I can't wait until I close the door. Okay, I'm really sensitive, but I just wonder if we have to be strong. I just wonder if like, because then they always say they praise you on being a strong Black woman. But I don't know. What do you think about that? Am I off? Yeah, I gotta start asking if I don't have an address to send it to. No, I'll send that to you. But
I think MU at my age, and I am 111 years old at this point, I think that you should be you. And you should allow yourself to feel your feelings, whatever they are, in any given moment. Because when we break down, we're weak. And, it's that whole thing. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. When you're strong, then you are cold and hard. You get mad. We're bitter, angry, Black. It's just, you cannot win for losing in other people's eyes. So do what feels right for you in that moment. I say it all the time when it's time to, when you want to break down, don't unpack and live there. Don't dwell in it. Don't wallow in it. But God damn it, if somebody, excuse my French, if somebody kicked you in your nuts, you would say, ouch. So if somebody kicks you in your heart, you have the right to say, ouch. Just don't unpack and live there. That's all. Feel your feelings.
We have to, and I think that the way that we were before, like trying to be strong and stuff, we had Joanna, you got it? Okay, I just sent it to you. We have to be, I mean, you couldn't really show your feelings. And damn sure not in these sectors. Okay. Yeah. I remember, this is so off subject. I was on a spaceship and I think I was about to cry. It was like, I don't know what was my problem. I was so emotional, and they're like, "You better not start crying." It's like, shit. No one asked me what was wrong. They just told me I better not, right? And it's just funny. But I do feel that with our kids and with our families, sometimes because they can sense things, and it is important to talk to them. I remember the first conversation I had with my daughter, the hardest conversation I have had with my child, y'all, was telling her that I had this problem, right? That I was on drugs, because my child didn't know anything. She was so innocent. And I remember she was looking at me with those big brown eyes. But the reason I wanted to talk to her about it is because I've always been a very high functioning addict, right? And I was very aware of stuff. And I didn't want my daughter, because of the age that she was, to think that there was something. I didn't want her to think that anything was her fault with me. I wanted her to know that I had this problem that I was working on. She does not have to follow in those footsteps, and this is my problem. And I spoke to her with my dance coach for a reason, because I was dancing, doing all this stuff. So the first time I mentioned it to my daughter, she didn't believe. She's like, "Mommy, stop trying to scare me, blah, blah, blah." So I had to have a serious conversation, and I had it with my coach, right? And I remember she started to cry and stuff like that. But I felt like it was important because there might have been things that she went through that I wasn't aware of. Because, I had that problem. And it was just a really difficult thing to do. But now that she's older, she thanks me for it. And we have an amazing relationship. But I remember that moment of not being that perfect mommy. And that's hard to do. It's just difficult. Oh, thank you, Trinagle. Hey, Trinagle, happy birthday, friend. Wishing you many more blessings. May God bless you with health and wealth. That's right. But and I know that some people might want to criticize me because I see what's going on in the sector, bad mommies and stuff like that.
Mm.
It wasn't that. I just think that that was something I didn't want to keep. When my son is older, I will tell him about it. And I know that some people think you shouldn't. I think that every parent has got to have that conversation about drugs eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose to share, especially because the way that I got hooked on meth, somebody put it in my drink. So I wanted them to understand that stuff. And yeah, I'll have the conversation when he's about, I don't know, 10 or 11 or so. Well, he's already 11. He's not ready. So maybe about 14 or 15, I think is an appropriate age to have that conversation.
And I kind of feel like I came up here. I don't even remember what you were talking about when I hit the panel.
I
I
don't
hope
either.
that I didn't come up here and like derail whatever that
I
you
wasn't
had.
talking about anything. I was saying thank you for the birthday wishes. I had no commentary because I've been at work. I can't believe I'm saying this. I've been working. That sounds so foreign, but
Mm.
that's what I was doing, and so I'm like on this different journey. I didn't really have a subject, but and I don't even remember what I was talking about. Thank you,
Well,
Rico.
I'm saying that because I have a question. Something you just said.
Hmm.
You said that um, something was put in your drink.
Hmm.
Can you explain that to me? Because I know about certain things. That particular device that you had, I'm not very familiar with that one in particular. How it's ingested or any of the things. So if you
It
don't
just
mind.
dissolves. It dissolves. Like you could put it in something, and the crazy thing about it is, once that shit like so I had it in my drink. I drank it and I had a weird feeling. I'm not saying that I had never used drugs, but at that time it was cocaine. I didn't know what the hell this meth thing was. All right.
Mhm.
And so I did eventually stop using coke, but then I became addicted to the meth, but I didn't understand why. And it wasn't until like the next week that the person told me, like, hey, you might want to try this. And that was a different beast altogether. But that's how that addiction started. And the thing that I
Mhm.
didn't realize that I learned later, that something about that weird drug, it'll dissolve. But then once everything, like, say, like the water, it's gone, blah, 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 the shit just rocks. Like, it just creates crystals back up. You know, the shape, the crystal, the ice, it looks like ice kind of, or
Mhm.
glass shards.
Mhm.
But yeah, you put it in liquid, the thing, it just, it, and that's how I got started. You put it in liquid, the shit just kind of dissolves, whatever. And I drank it, and it was like the biggest rush. And then I did it again, and I just got hooked on it, and I no longer use the cocaine anymore. So that was how I got off coke. Yeah.
Oh, and that the other thing, if stop me anytime if this gets to be too much, my questioning or whatever, just stop me. But one thing that I know about opioids and benzos is it's not so much the high, because at a certain point you don't feel the euphoria anymore. You become dependent, and I know what cocaine withdrawals look like, and even heroin. I don't know if I can say these words. I'm sorry, but opioids. I know what the withdrawals, pills, you
That's a
know,
nasty withdrawal.
all of that. Is it the same with the meth, the withdrawals of it all?
No, the withdrawal is still hard, and I think that sometimes when we talk about psychological withdrawal, we think, oh, it's just in your head. No, it's a severe withdrawal, but it's different. It's not like opioids or um an alcohol withdrawal, where that could be dangerous to do outside of a hospital. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Coach OG. With meth, you're not gonna die, all right? But you go through such a deep depression. Now your bones will ache, you hurt, and the thing is, you don't feel pleasure, but after using it for so long, so normal things don't bring you pleasure anymore. And that
Mm-hmm.
depression is like none that I can even explain. You don't want to get out of bed. First, okay, the first thing that's gonna happen is your body will crash because you stay up a lot on the dope, right? You stay
Mm-hmm.
up, and just everything is sped up in your body, and so you crash when you stop using. But it's depression, your bones ache. You don't really want to do anything, and you got to remember, long term, the reason it's hard to get off is because of the long term. It's the long term recovery. It takes a while to get off of the meth. I mean, it'll get out of your system, but you still have the symptoms like the depression, and you don't want to live. You don't want to go on. Nothing brings you pleasure, and it's because you damage your dopamine receptors.
Mm-hmm. And that is something that I shared with you when we talked. It takes up to, I don't know, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about meth in particular, but other drugs. It takes up to a year for you to feel like you again.
It's
Like
like
you
that
get
with
through
meth.
the hard part of the
Yeah.
withdrawals, the heavy detox, you get through that in a couple of weeks, but there is reoccurring the depression and it takes a minute. It takes a minute. And this is why people
It
relapse, because they are just looking to get rid of the withdrawal symptoms, and they are deadly. It's toxic. It's a whole lot. I've seen it up close. It is nothing cute. And that's the thing that people don't understand, is that people are not chasing a high. After a certain point, they're not chasing a high. They're running from the withdrawals.
Yeah, there's this article I had saved on it. And like for me, the cocaine was a lot easier to get off of. I mean, 3 days. But I can't really say that because if you switch one substance for another, so I can't even say I detox. Like I used to think before I went to these classes, I used to think, hey, I kicked it, blah blah. No, I exchanged a high, right? And it's just a really hard thing. You're right. Like your 2 week detox, got that, but to be able to enjoy, like feel pleasure from normal things again, and not just that, because your sleep patterns and everything is all getting out of bed, and then not, it's such a lot. There's just a lot that goes with recovery, because you got to break some habits now. You have to really get back into life, and that is the part. If I could do it again, I would have probably you can get sober without rehab. That's a fact. All you gotta do is stop using. But the problem is the structure. There's a lot of counseling and a lot of other things that go with the recovery. That part I would do again. If I had to do it again, I would have gotten more help. I have my therapist and stuff like that, but rehab teaches you how to relive, how to enter society. I'm talking about not no 3-day rehab. I'm talking about like if you go to a place.
Right.
Yeah, because there's just a lot of things, I mean, that you stop doing when you're using. And it is a selfish disease because you get well, right? And but then you start using to not get sick, and you start using to just be able to function and get out of bed. It's not even about wanting to feel high anymore. It's wanting to feel normal and not get sick.
Right. I have seen it up close and personal, and it is not a game. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
And people don't realize that the stigma is what I like to talk about, because we're talking about you go to a hospital to get treated, you go somewhere, they don't understand addictions, and a lot of times they don't want to treat an addict. The addict is treated differently. So where do you go for help? And that matters because of insurance. It's a chronic illness that can be treated. It can be treated with long-term treatment, right? Of course, you don't want to use, but you should be able to go into a rehab and have insurance cover it. But with all these stigmas and stuff like that, those laws aren't changing because the stigma, people are ignorant about addiction, but it can be treated. But it's not a 1 week thing. It's something that you've got to work. And I'm saying this now. Yes, I did it without rehab. I got kicked out of every rehab center I ever went into. But looking back, if I had to help somebody else, I would just do things differently, and that would not be on my own. You need a support system and a routine.
was your, and there's a lot of people that tried and they went to rehab for all sorts of reasons, and got kicked out and all of that. And they always say you have to hit rock bottom. What would you say was your rock bottom? What was your turning point?
I don't believe you have to hit rock bottom.
Okay.
Just because to me, rock bottom is death. I think that, and we keep moving the goalposts because some people say their rock bottom is losing their family. They still use because of the pain of it, or losing their home and stuff like that. So I do know what they mean. Okay, you got to hit rock bottom. I still think it has to be you're tired and you want to. For me, I didn't realize how much I was hurting other people. I thought I was just hurting myself. And the longer I would stay sober, even though I would relapse, the more clear I would become, and I would be aware of what other people was feeling around me. And I got tired of letting them down. My rock bottom for me, and the reason why I say I don't believe you have to hit a rock bottom, like, okay, my rock bottom was broken relationships and the pain that I was causing other people. I got tired of it. But some people would say rock bottom is losing your home and your family and stuff like that. But for me, it was the loss of connection. Does that make sense? So I think that wherever you are, and I do get it, the enabling, let a person hit rock bottom. Don't enable a person, which means not even to make excuses for them. If they're not able to show up for something, don't call their job saying that they're sick. No, let life affect them. Because that's gonna, you know what I mean? You don't want to enable a person, but that person really has to just want to be sober, because damn, rock bottom is death. And then you got to think about it. You can use so much and affect your health, and then you just don't want to be sober. Life can be so miserable that you're just not going to want to change it. You're going to feel devastated. So I do think it's important to not, the best way to help somebody is to not enable them. Let life do it so they can want to get sober. I just have to say that. For me, it was just, I came to a realization that things are not going to get better. My life is going to be miserable. I'm going to always be broken. And I had to change. I had to.
And that's very important. And when I ask that question, I don't ask people, because I don't feel like rock bottom is one specific place. Everybody has their own rock bottom. What may be rock bottom for you may not be enough for the next person, and vice versa. It is, then that's why I asked what was your rock bottom.
Okay, so that makes sense. So for me, okay, I get what you're saying. So for me, my rock bottom was because I could afford the drug, and that was also part of the problem. I could afford a lot of the drug, right? But it just became really lonely. I was really isolating myself. And then I'm telling you, when I relapsed that last time after being sober for 4 months, I honestly wanted to unalive myself. I was so depressed. I did not think that I could ever do that again. And yeah, that was it. I mean, oh no, I forgot about something. You guys went through this experience with me. As I was trying to get sober, I had to deal with CPS. That was a scare. Because I don't know if you remember this, but I was right at that timeline to pass that damn hair follicle test. And I'm like, I'm sober now, but do I have enough time? I was right there. And that was, when it comes to my kids, I'm like, God, you can't take my kids away. So yes, I was feeling sad because I had let down a lot of people, because I'm doing this shit in front of you guys, in front of the world, right? I got tired of just letting people down. But with CPS, and you guys got to stop with the fucking CPS shit. You're not in people's immediate life to be calling CPS on them. It's not a game, all right? But if I use again, I mean, that's the one thing that can get me separated from my kids. I got my kids back because I was sober, blah, 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 blah. But if I do use again, and I never want to feel that again with my kids taken away. I never, ever want to feel that again. That was grieving like I cannot explain. I never expected that grief. Because I just never thought about it. I hear about people getting their kids taken away all the time. And I'm like, damn, that's horrible. But actually going
Mm.
through it, I can't explain to you what that feels like. It's like, it was horrible to see them and not be able to see them. And I couldn't take them home, and they didn't understand. Well, my daughter understood it, but my son didn't understand it.
Right.
And it took me, how long were they gone? Like 6 weeks or something like that. But if I wasn't sober, it would have taken me, I think, at least a year to get them back. At least.
Wow.
Yeah. So that definitely was rock bottom.
Well, whatever it was, I'm glad. I hate that any of that happened, but I'm glad that whatever got you to today got you here.
Thank you. Because the things that I did not realize, even after, okay, so I had 3 months sober, I remember that. And I'm thinking, I'm good. At 6 months, I'm like, damn, this is still hard. But my thinking started to change. Then 9 months and then a year. And once I hit a year, I'm not going to lie, I was depressed because I was expecting to feel a certain way. And so I felt depressed at 3 months, 6 months, all of those milestones that I had in my head, since things didn't just magically get better. Like I thought, oh, things are going to be great. No, a little after a year, my mindset changed and I understood the healing that took place in my brain physically. And then I'm like, I got it. I understand what people are telling me. And I don't think I could have done that before a year because the brain, just like you used to tell me, about the brain and stuff. After a year, I understood it. But before then, you really have no way of understanding it. Your brain is just that damaged. You just don't know. You think you know, but you don't know.
Right.
And that's so when it comes to people, like I do appreciate the stuff that you were telling me, because even though I couldn't understand it, you were still planting seeds. Like now I'm like, oh, I appreciate you because you did plant that seed and you did tell me. And you didn't have to. You could have just been like I'm not saying everybody, a lot of other people just, oh, misunderstood, you're doing great. You look, you know what I mean? You could have just been like that. You didn't have to, or you could have just kept cursing me out or whatever, but you didn't. You did take the time to explain some stuff, and I got it. Like I totally understand what you were telling me, and I appreciate that. And when I had that aha moment, I thought about you. I'm like, damn. But it's frustrating to watch somebody hurt themselves again and again.
It is. It is, but from the beginning, I told you I always wanted to like you. Sometimes you got on my nerve like this. God damn it, MU. I had my moments with you, but I always wanted to like you. And then it was crazy how we even kind of linked up and it came to the place where we had that conversation, because it was actually somebody trolling and trying to, for whatever reason, get us to go at each other.
I remember.
And yeah, you remember all of that.
I don't know if yes, I do. And I also remember the moment you said I could drop it to your chat. I'm like, I ain't dropping to that chat. But I would be in your clouds though. And then one day I'm like, you know what? I can't drop it to this chat. But I'm telling you, now that I'm doing this for other people, mostly in the communities where they only talk about sobriety stuff, not our sectors, right? But people in our sectors do reach out to me, and I'm really proud about that, because I like to see brown and black people talk about addiction. Why is it just, you know what I mean? Like, we need to talk about addiction and mental health more. But when I'm watching other people do it and I'm trying to help them, I get how frustrating I must have been, because I get frustrated with them and I have to be patient. You know what I mean? I have to, as I'm talking to them and I'm like, damn, you're doing dumb shit. I get what you guys were saying. And it's like, I think with our community and our culture, we don't really sugarcoat things, and we don't have time for nonsense. But I don't think that we really understand the addict. Even myself I can tell you about meth. I don't know what it's like to kick heroin or pills, something with such a physical, you know what I mean? That's a very physical withdrawal. I don't know what that's like. I can only sympathize with it, but the mindset of when you get clean, why are you going to go back when this withdrawal is so horrible? And those are the things that I want to be able to understand. I don't know. But then it's like, how do you tell somebody to get sober? they may not want to, and life can really beat somebody down to where they want to self-medicate.
Yep.
What do you do?
You have to just be patience is key, and you have to kind of try to guide them to it. You can't force anybody to it. They have to want it. I can want it for you with my whole heart. If you are not ready, there is nothing that I can say
Nothing.
that is going to change it. And I know this degrading and downing and pointing out the patently obvious does not help either. People know. You know, if I'm watching you destroy yourself, I have to understand at the same, you feel it, you live with it, you wake up with it. And not you, I'm just saying in
No, I
general.
know what you're saying. There's a lot of shame that goes with
Mm.
addiction. It's the it's more stigmatized than mental health. If you have a substance abuse disorder, it's more stigmatized than a mental health disorder. Okay.
Right.
So that doesn't just go with our community. That goes from trying to get treated, trying to go to a hospital, right? Now,
Mm.
me, I still used to go. I was quick to go to the emergency room, but I could tell you the way they would, like, some of them would look at me or treat me, or do you know what I mean? But I was that one that would tell you my symptoms. Like, I went to the hospital just this last time and they wanted to give me Norco. I'm like, I can't take a Norco. Or you know, and I'm trying to tell them, and they're just like, no, it's gonna be okay, just one time. And they went, oh, and a Xanax.
Mm.
You have, and I'm telling them, like, look into my charts, you know, I can't take that. Can you give me something that's not going to be addicting? And they really just don't understand it. Even in healthcare, I feel that
They understand they don't care. They don't care.
don't care. Yeah, don't give me that damn word. Like, yeah, no, don't give me anything addicting. Um, yeah, think about that kind of stuff. And there's some really like some stories I would tell you, but I got to tell you that these communities are different. Like, when I go to these sobriety, they don't call themselves sectors, channels, the
Mm-hmm.
compassion and stuff, and the way that they treat each other. I'm just like, God, I wish that we had more of that here. But their kids, when they talk about their kids though, dying, we're talking about wealthy kids dying off of fentanyl and stuff like that. And it's just the
Yep.
saddest thing. Just sad. They go to a hospital. I don't care if you're white, black, whatever. That stigma is still there. And they would talk about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Absolutely, it is. It's sad, and but here's the thing: when people don't understand MU, they just don't understand. Because I have encountered a lot of people who feel like junkies or addict, whatever the hell they want. They don't even look at them as human. It's like they just see them as subhuman. I don't even know what. And it's like these are people behind these addictions. Behind, yeah.
And they feel like you don't have any rights if you're addicted, and you deserve everything that's happened to you. Or people will treat you, and I'm not just talking about online, I'm talking about in life. They'll treat you a certain kind of way because they know people are not going to believe you because you have an addiction. And they target, how you doing, Flow State? They target people that use drugs. And I got to tell you, when I decided to talk about addiction and stuff like that, there's some people, not even in the sector, that would talk about addiction. They didn't have any problems with addiction, stuff like that. It was just profitable. I'm stuck living this life for the rest of my life. So it's like I have nothing to gain except maybe I can help one person. But you could definitely tell the difference from somebody who's just coming in telling you, like, hey, you know what? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do this. You're not learning anything. They're more like, look at me, give me some cash outs, blah, blah, blah. But they're not really out to help somebody that's struggling with addiction, because you're going to talk about some painful stuff. You're going to talk about things that people don't want to talk about and stuff like that. If you're really serious about it.
It goes deep for the addict, and for, like you said, I can relate when you said that you feel like I'm just hurting me. And especially for the people who have that can afford their addiction. That is a problem within itself.
It's the worst problem.
It really is. But
and nobody talks about it. It's not treated the same. It's not treated the same.
But it always, that only lasts for so long. And what I'm saying, trying to say, I know I'm all over the place. The people who care about you, the people around you that are watching this, I'll just say it. I had a family member when I was young that had a horrible addiction, and said family member stole something that was very precious to me, and it took me years. I was so mad. I cut them off. I was just like, how could you do this to me? You know what this item meant to me is irreplaceable, and you took that. But I came to a place where I had to understand he wasn't stealing from me. He didn't mean to hurt me. He was feeding his addiction. And I just happened to be there. And when I understood that, it made me look at addiction in a whole, because I know, no doubt that this person loved me. No doubt will this person give their life for me. But when he was in the height of his addiction, he took something that meant everything to me. And that's like a hard balance. I don't even know if I'm explaining it right, trying to look at how that works, but I was able to see it. And it just flipped everything in my mind about addicts and what they go through and what addiction actually is. And this is why I say, and some people may call me naive, but when you are in the moment you become addicted, and until you hit actual recovery, all of this stuff in the middle, I don't blame you for. I don't give a shit what you did. In here, I don't care, because you were not in your right mind. You were being controlled by something else. And I can't look at that. From here, when you get here, now we can talk. All this shit, I can't look at it. And I may be naive for feeling that way, but that's just how I see it.
You're welcome, Armando. Thank you. That's my friend right there. You're explaining it right, Ava. I agree. You're explaining it exactly right. You have more understanding than most when it comes to that, and damn, that's what I mean, you guys. It's such a painful thing, and we forget about the ones that love an addict, the one that's not addicted, that's dealing with it. It becomes such a toxic thing, you guys, and because there's a lot of things that you love that person, and we don't mean to hurt you guys, okay, but don't really understand. And that addiction just gets the best of us. And I'm not making excuses, but what I'm saying is, and yeah, you are understanding, but that still hurt you. And we so focus on an addict that we forget the ones around us. Like, you don't really hear people talking about the loved ones that much, or what did you guys go through? Mm-hmm. And then when you get sober and you're in recovery, you got to deal with the guilt and the regret. So when there's somebody like you that's understanding, I really applaud you for that. I think that it's just touchy when you're dealing with addiction. You gotta also, I like to talk to people that have loved ones that was addicted, right? And to see what do you guys go through, and that's just hard. And it's hard to talk about regret and stuff when you've caused the pain. And I think that's one of the scary things about getting sober. So I'm sorry that you went through that experience. Your understanding is just amazing, because most people won't have that.
Well, it just is what it is. I'm thankful. That sounds weird to say that, for all of my experiences, what I went through, because I was able to learn a lot from it. And then as a person on this side of the fence, I have my own guilt, because when I speak about the withdrawals and the detoxes that I've witnessed, I actually at some points went and got what they needed so they wouldn't be sick. And there I was enabling. I'm not understand. I just don't want you to be sick. I want to, okay, like whatever you need. Because it was horrible to watch. That shit is horrible.
I know. I remember. Oh my goodness. I won't say y'all name. Don't worry about it. But I remember people that would come visit me and they would bring me stuff. And it would be wrapped all pretty and shit. I will never forget. But they thought they were helping me. And I thought, cool, I don't got to go out and score. I don't got to have this stuff delivered. Thank you. And I'm telling you, it becomes such a toxic relationship. And both do things, forgive, we do things and forgive things that we never thought we would. Like, I'm sure you never thought that, hey, I'm going to go get something for someone. So, you know what I mean? But you find yourself making, like, doing little things and that you normally wouldn't do, and then it becomes the norm, and then you start doing something else. And I just think that addiction, again, I'm going to say, is one of those things. I don't think that we fully understand it. That remembers that former person is always trying to help that person, and you guys don't have all the answers unless you're an addiction specialist, and they don't even have all the answers. You don't really know what to do in those moments, because when that addict is sick, that's when the problems start. Attitude changes, but you still remember that former person. I remember how people would tell me, and I always tried to be a good person, but one day I just learned this damn word, epiphany. I think that's the word. A light bulb moment. All right. And I had a few days sober under my belt. And I remember I had to go somewhere. I was so anxious. What does the addict want to do when they have to go somewhere? We want to use before we get there. Okay. We just do. Or immediately right after. And then I remember thinking, why do I need to be higher than these other people? Why can't I just go? Why can't I experience this? And I remember thinking and stuff like, why do I need to be in this state? I'm going to be more hyper than everybody. I'm already hyper and energetic. I don't need anything to be around people. And I had that moment where I was just like, nope, it's not fair. If they're hurting, I'm going to hurt with them. If they're, and what did I do? I used before I got there still, even thinking that, and then those thoughts went away. But we do have those lucid moments a little. And I remember thinking that, and then I went right back to it just out of habit and fear of being sick. But I'm thinking about, what do the people around me have to go through? And addiction affects all of us, whether we're using or not, because you don't know. You're having a conversation with somebody and they're angry or whatever, and you think that you're just not making sense. Like, I'm talking about people you don't know. And they're on some kind of substance, and it's not you, and it does affect all of them.
You know what? And you just I'm going to share this, and then we're going to talk about something the hell else, because it's your birthday and I did not come up here to kill the room. But
okay. But you're not. I love these kind of talks, because honestly, when someone's interested in things like this, it makes me feel good, because these are the things that I've only wanted to talk about, but I don't have the answers. And for me, it's more of a discussion. I don't have all the answers. You can ask me about meth all day, but it's so much more than that. So when I'm speaking to somebody like you that went through these experiences, that know more about cocaine or something else, I'm interested. I just don't get it. And I live in a town, and I'm not trying to bore you guys or freak you guys out, but I never knew. I would go places to film all these things, and I'm like, I got addiction on the other side of the street. I didn't know that until a person came to visit me. Really, that people existed in the community. I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that, but I never really thought that there was people right on the other side of me, homeless. We have all this drug addiction. I've been filming that kind of shit, and I'm just trying to be like more aware. But I'm so interested, because if you guys did not understand, I'm not talking about just people that you would think are addicted. I'm also talking about some professional people that have so much money. So you would think that they have everything together. They either have addicted kids, some of these people that I have been talking to, and people that I've known personally, they have addicted kids, or they're addicted to some type of pill, thinking that it's better than the street addict, whatever. Just whatever. But go ahead with what you're going to say. So you guys probably didn't really understand what I was saying, but I
absolutely get it. It's levels, it's different levels. And the most dangerous addiction is when somebody can afford what it is that they're addicted to. That's dangerous, because they don't see it as a problem. But like I said, I had a very somebody I cared about a whole lot who became addicted, and I came up in the era where crack cocaine became, it was just this whole other monster. And like I said, I saw somebody going through withdrawals, and it was horrible. And me not knowing that I'm enabling by just here, take this and go get what you need because I don't want to see you sick. But I will never forget hearing that person talking, literally MU talking to their crack pipe, crying, telling that crack pipe, why won't you leave me alone? I have lost everything. I lost my job. I lost my family. I lost my faith. Holding it. They had what they wanted in their hand, crying like a baby. That just,
Damn.
I will never forget that moment. I will never forget that moment. And I cannot just see somebody suffering with that as.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. Crack is hard for me to understand. That that's hard for me to understand. Any drug is hard to understand. Okay, I'm not
Mm,
trying to demonize one type of drug,
mm,
but yes, I have seen stuff like that. And I've seen it with meth too, but meth creates a psychosis that's kind of weird. Okay, um, yeah, you lose. I don't know what it is about crack where you just lose everything. You don't lose your looks because I think you just stop taking care of yourself, right? But again, I can't speak that much on it. I could just tell you the ones that I've met addicted to crack cocaine, that is a beast I do not understand.
mm.
Because I don't know the difference from cocaine and crack. I'm talking about, I mean, once it hits your brain, it does the same thing whether you're using crack or cocaine. But it seems like chasing that high and chasing that dragon with crack to me is, would you agree or no, is what makes them so, I don't know.
I
But
can only go by what I've heard. Thank God I never, because I don't ever feel like I'm better than anybody else. It's just something I never reached for. And thank God that I didn't. But I've known a lot of people in the era that I grew up. And I'm talking about professional. I'm talking doctors, lawyers that are, you just wouldn't even believe. They ended up on Skid Row. Like, how the hell? But I've seen it happen. And they all say pretty much the same thing. It's a high. The first high is like the best, and they're constantly chasing that, and they literally forget everything else in their life, everything else around them. Because
you're gonna
you
feel
know,
that high again from the
I
first.
never, had that type of addiction. But my logic was, why quit going to work? How you gonna afford the drugs if you don't have money to pay for it? But they weren't thinking like that. They are so busy chasing what they're chasing, they just literally forget everything else around. I don't know. It's just, it's
Yeah,
sad,
you
and
chase
it's
that dragon,
tragic.
and you develop, you become addicted, and it's hard to do anything else. Your interests around the drug and finding it, scoring, going out, all of it together. And
Hmm.
I get that chase of the dragon kind of thing, because you think about that first high, and then when you aren't getting it from the second and third one, you think, okay, I just need a better batch. Okay, is
Hmm.
this good? Is this whatever? And then you're not getting high from it anymore. You don't understand that you just develop tolerance, but you keep
Right.
remembering that first damn high. And then, and you also go through the withdrawal. Not only are you chasing the damn dragon, there's withdrawal.
Right.
And
And
you don't
this is
want to,
how a lot of people who became addicted to pills OD. You hear a lot of pill poppers ODing, and it's because they're looking for, if I just do, you know, a couple more instead of taking one, let me take two, and it goes to five and 10. I've known of people who have popped 10 damn pills in one whop, just down 10 pills at a time, and I think that's where the ODing and all of that. And one person, sadly, that I knew that was addicted to the pills, after she is in recovery now, bless her heart, she is doing wonderful. Thank God for that. But she said there was a point where she began to steal like everything that wasn't nailed down. And she said, I stole because I would look at, say, an outfit, a pair of shoes that were $20, and I would be counting in my head, how many pills can I buy for that $20? And instead of paying for that, I would steal it so I would have money for my pills. It's
the logic. Your mind is so messed up, and pills are the tricky one. And then the one of the things that's hard too is once you have enough detox, clean time in you, you still have that in your head, and so you think about using, and then it's gonna feel like that first time again after so long has went by. And when I say that, that's a very strong feeling, like, wow. Or say you get arrested, people think, okay, that person should be sober now. No, that person thinking about, you know what I mean? And they may think at first, like, I want to change. But once they get out because they didn't initially do it for themselves, that's a hard feeling, because you think about that first time. You don't think about all the relapses and the problems and stuff like that. You think about that first time, and that's another thing. And I know for me with meth, I like to talk about meth, but cocaine and crack, same kind of thing. You get that clean time, and then you it's not just a craving, like it's so intense, like you feel like you're gonna die if you don't get that shit, and it's in your head. Thank you, Free Tea Baby. Wishing you the thank you. I appreciate that. Krista, just Krista. Happy birthday, MU, and hello to the panel, everyone in the chat. How you doing, beautiful? So, and it's just tricky, but the shame and everything that comes with it, it's like, I know what to take the shame away. When you're using, you're not thinking about that. So I have to be really careful. And for me, it's important for me to not hide my path or stuff like that. I know when I'm talking to people and I'm telling them about my story and stuff like that, like people, I'm talking about like in my real life, like on the streets and stuff like that, it's really important for me to tell them where I came from, because some of them are looking like, how do I understand? Because they didn't see me with my bad skin and the whole, you know what I mean? They're just like, okay, you want to interview me? I just want some money. But I don't interview those ones. I kind of interview the ones where they can actually hold a conversation, and I can follow them. But and I do tell them, because it kind of puts them at ease, like, hey, you know what, I've been there and I'm here now. So it's just, but when I'm out there and I see all the worst is seeing them out there with their kids. That is just the worst. And there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Especially if they have a tent or something like that. There's some places where, they're not, the kids, they're still providing a route. You know what I'm saying? Like, we may think but you would be surprised how many people where we're like, damn, these people should lose their kids, CPS, blah, blah, blah. No, those kids are just lost. They're with their parents and they're out there on the street, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's a sad state of affairs. One of my first trips to California as an adult, the girls that I were with, they were in some program. I can't even remember the name, all of the things, but I was with them. I just wanted a damn road trip to California, which I will never drive from Mississippi to California again. It took us almost 4 days. My God. But when we got there, first I was thinking, like, take me to the parts of California that I see on TV, because this ain't none of it.
Yep.
But when we actually got to Skid Row, and we were handing out blankets and care packages and that whole thing, Lord help me. There was I want to say Vietnamese child. MU, she couldn't have been any more than 10 years old, if that. And she kept saying, yum, 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 yum. And I'm thinking, we have given her the food, the care package with the food. And I'm like, is she hungry? What does she want? And they had to explain to me what yum, yum actually meant.
What did it mean?
How do I?
I think I have an adult, but yeah, what does it mean?
Uh-huh. It was a service she was offering.
Okay, I know. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god. See, I can't. I can't. Right, hood therapy. God.
I'm thinking, where are the parents? Where are the how? Just
And I'm sure she was a beautiful child, and she didn't know any
yep.
better.
Yep.
Didn't know any better, and you would be surprised just how many kids get taken advantage of that way. How young. That's why I'm like, how, oh, free T baby. When you think about all that stuff, I'm thinking, I know the experiences that I've had as a child, and if you really understood addiction and stuff like that, I mean,
Right.
how do these kids grow up to be? Not all of them, if there's some serious intervention. But people wouldn't really be surprised by some of the things that I've done or come out with later. When you have a child that's just broke, it's easier to fix a broken child than a broken adult, right? And I say that they grow up to be something. So that's why I say when I talk about addiction, I talk about all of it. You can't shame me with my past or anything that I've done before I've gotten sober, because I know that people are broken. And when you go through things as a kid and it's not fixed, now I'm not making excuses. What I'm saying is, if that little girl doesn't get help when she gets older, I mean, we just don't know what kind of adult she's going to be.
And the thing is, so many scenarios that you could look at, because maybe she had parents who suffered from addiction and cross hairs with somebody that, they pissed off, and they decided to call CPS, and she got caught up in the system. And sometimes kids don't get placed in the best environments, and then she ran away, and now she is just out there. It is so much to think about. None of this shit is anything to play with. And I wish that people would really get with that. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm just going to go ahead and say, I got so sick and tired of hearing about your coochie.
I'm glad my camera was off. He almost made me choke. Okay.
Like, my God. Like 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Like, are we serious? Are we still talking about one cooch? Y'all have got to be kidding me.
Girl, you didn't even warn me. Hey, Peach Tea, thank you so much. You didn't even.
Well, hell, nobody warned me. It was just boom, right there, and then everybody kept talking about it. Now, I don't know the specifics of when the picture was taken, and I heard what I heard, like everybody else heard, and it just, to me, it should have been shut down at the moment. Even if you were not being completely honest at how old you, that shit should have been shut down a long time before it got shut down. But let's just say that it was something that happened in the height of your addiction. Again, there is that space where, what do you expect? It's like if I just fired up a live and I talked about, I have a dog and my dog is in the backyard barking. My dog just barks all day. My dog barks and he drools, and he's a fucking dog, and dogs bark. Period. How you gonna get mad at a dog for barking? It makes no sense to me. I don't even know if I'm expressing that right, but it is like, come the hell on. Are we this bored? I'm glad. I shouldn't even brought it up because they had stopped talking about it. I hope I don't re-spark that, because I got tired of hearing about your cooch.
You caught me off guard. Y'all, I'm not laughing at the fact about the pictures and stuff like that. I'm laughing because I was drinking something at the time. Oops.
I'm sorry.
Shocked when you said that. I'm gonna get to that. Hood therapy said I was in custody of the state for my childhood because of alcohol and drugs. Oh, Hood therapy, I'm sorry to hear that. We had someone that was just on speaking about her experiences. If y'all missed that interview, it was a good interview with shout out to Mika. She shared a lot. And I would like to have conversations about what is it like to be in custody. She spoke about the foster care system and stuff like that. Hood therapy, I'm sorry for what you went through. And again, we don't understand the impact of our addiction on children and stuff like that. So I'm really sorry for what you went through, and I hope that you're okay. Now, to address, when I was 18, the state sent me a letter saying I was custody of myself.
That's horrible.
Damn, that's cold. Right when you're 18, no, see that's tough. And those systems are so flawed. Her therapy says I'm 53 years old. It's water under the bridge.
Well, thank you for even sharing.
Thank you for
even
sharing.
sharing that.
You know, and I do want to talk about what is it like for kids that's caught up in the system and foster care and stuff like that, because I know with my kid, I didn't even understand. They placed them with the family, and nothing against the family, but they were so, like, they didn't have anything, and I was like, you're gonna take them from a good family, like, you know. No, I didn't understand it. And it's like the way that they say their standards were, oh, they have to have their own rooms and stuff like that. The a little apartment didn't have all that. You know, and I still speak to the parent because I'm really grateful for how she, like, took care of, like, you know what I mean? Like, she would allow us to talk, see her kids, like, she, you know what I'm saying? She didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't have to do that. So I still stay in contact with her, but I was just thinking, like, damn, her place was so small. Like, God, I didn't understand it. But okay, now your thing about those pictures. Let me tell you something. I think that for me, it was the shot in a time period that I don't really. It's such. It's that's so long ago. And my thought was now, like, I felt like some people were really trying to hold me to my past, including them, and, like, you know what I mean, like. The people that are not in my life, y'all don't hear me talking about. You don't hear me making commentary about them. Can I say the same for them? No.
Mm-hmm.
I think that part of it was, let's keep her here. She's doing better. There's some things I didn't like. I can't, when things go beyond a roast, beef and stuff like that, I'm not interested. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to go back and forth because I'm not going to go that dark. I don't have that kind of a spirit. And I think that for me, the hard part was, okay, now I have nothing to really distract me because I can't even go in y'all chats anymore because that is the fucking subject. I don't want to hear about that shit. So that was irritating. That was hard. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't listen to nothing against Pizarro, nothing against anybody. You're going to talk about what's trendy, right? So
Right.
I had to do a complete turn because I couldn't go into I didn't want to hear that shit. So I had to turn it all off. And then when I turned that shit off, I forgot that I had that mad moment one day when I got into it with Don Cato, blah, 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 and I threw my phone number in the chat. So now I had people calling me, trying to get me on the phone and all these emails and stuff. And it was such an invasion of privacy as far as that goes. But I had to make that decision, kind of like what you had said earlier, like with, you know, the pictures and stuff like that. I made that decision. I was moving on and I wasn't living in my past. I don't give a fuck who doesn't like it, what they talk about, what they find out if I get doxxed, blah, blah, blah. I made a decision to move on. So everything before that day I made that decision, I have to let it go. And I think that's important to do because we can get caught up in a lot of guilt and regret. And that shit's not healthy. There's a such thing as healthy guilt because that guilt causes you to change. But then there's something that's not healthy, and that's when you're sitting over there beating yourself up over things that you can't change, that you have no control over. I can't change what I did in my past. And you guys knowing about it isn't going to do a damn thing. It's still there. The only difference is you guys know about it. The only thing that you can do is if you decide to move on and leave shit in the past, you got to do it no matter who tries to keep you stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it's just horrible. And I know that you guys were tired of the commentary and stuff like that. Because people were messaging me mad, telling me to change the fucking commentary like I could control it. And I think that they were mad at me because they couldn't go off on the people that was talking about it. But I think that, like, you'll be surprised what is meant to, like, what other people think is going to destroy you can actually make you stronger.
Yep.
It made me happier I can't explain, not the pictures, they didn't make me happier, but as far as I don't need anybody. I'm self-sufficient. I take care of myself. I don't need anybody. Everybody in my life is just, I either want them there or it's just extra, but a lot of people are taking from me. And I want people in my life that's willing to give as much as I'm able to give. I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about like investing in people. It can't be one-sided. And most people in my life, it was a one-sided relationship.
Right.
I'm just in a better space now. And with school and all that kind of stuff, I'm so busy with people outside of the internet, and I cannot believe how many people just want to talk to me about addiction. Like the students, because they doxed the school.
Wow.
Yeah, they called them, told them about my channel. I shouldn't be in their school because I'm on drugs, blah, blah, blah. But all they did was make that school want me to talk to other students, and I was able to share. And those students came and told me about their parents, what they felt like. They asked me questions about the drug, and they're so close to me that, you know, we're still in touch. Well, I just barely graduated, but you know what I mean? Like I said, you never know what's supposed to hurt you can sometimes help you, because the school has asked me to speak about stuff like that, and that's just where we are.
Right. And sometimes I could be wrong, but I get a sense that you are a little shy about celebrating who you are and where you are and what you've accomplished. Let a vain bitch help you out. I don't know if you can see my refrigerator. How many people you know got a mirror on their refrigerator? You see this? Wait.
You have a beautiful house. Oh, free tea, baby. Thank you.
Can you see that? That's a mirror. How many people you know got a mirror on their refrigerator? Honey, listen, I wake up every day celebrating me. It's a mirror next to my bed. That is my whole metaphor, because I always want to like see me before I look and judge anybody else. There are mirrors all over both houses.
You gotta rock the afro. I want to like whip my hair, but I'll look crazy doing it sitting down, and I'll look crazy doing it anyway.
But I'm gonna send you the link to that brush, the brush that I use. I'm gonna send you the link to get that brush, honey.
I'm gonna get it.
Mirrors. I'm always
that mirror on your refrigerator, Miss Indy.
Damn
thank
straight.
you so much, Miss Indy. That you know what? When I move, maybe that'll be. But I got such a big head, though. I don't need a big.
What you mean a big head?
I'm a big. You know, you never noticed? Like my head is kind of big.
You don't see this forehead?
Oh, we got the same kind of forehead.
Yeah, we got the same kind of forehead. It's mine. I love it. It's just embrace it. It's what it is. Everybody don't have to like it, but it's mine. And it's not going anywhere. I used to wear bangs. Like when I was in school, I would wear bangs all the time and try to, girl, please. It's up there. Yeah, you can show a movie on it, but it's mine.
I'm like,
you know?
I love my head. I remember my daughter. I think that, let me get y'all. No, come on, y'all. I don't have complexes, okay? You gotta love who you are. But sometimes I'm like, damn, my head did come out kind of big. And I remember my daughter once, she's like, Mom, I have your head. I was like, girl, you better love that head. And then, if y'all haven't seen pictures of my daughter, we have like, she has features like me sometimes. And it's just kind of funny. But you guys, I think people with full heads, I'll say, I think that we're lovely. What else am I gonna say? You gotta embrace yourself. I'm like, damn, this head.
There are things about me I would have changed when I was younger. I don't give a shit now. I'm too old to be worried about what I look like.
Let me tell you something. Number one, you don't look your age at all.
Thank you.
I don't think I forgot how old you are. Anyway, you don't look your age. And you just have this confidence about yourself that you could tell. So even if you're angry, you're so in control of that anger that you can wait. You don't really. I think that people that respond right away are worried about what other people think about them, so they don't take the time to really sit back, because they're like, oh no, I got to get my lick back. I got to do this and that, instead of really trying to, you don't have to respond. And if you choose to respond, be smart about your response.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares what people
My
say?
biggest thing is that I don't like people to know what I'm thinking. I don't like to give that away. I try. That is one thing. I never want people to know exactly what I'm thinking because they use that against you. And if I let you see that this gets to me, you're going to use that thing over and over again. Now, it's sometimes when I have to grip my, not so much on here, but because he's like, me and you are cool. I love you for who you are, but essentially we're strangers. What the hell can you do to me? What can you say about me that's going to really move anything in my life? Because I can click right off of here. I don't have to see you no more. I don't have to listen. You go to talking about me, I don't even have to listen to it. But in my actual, I don't like people to see me sweat. I don't like people to see, and I don't like to share everything that I'm thinking and how I move, if that makes sense. I just don't. I just don't. But you get, when you don't come out fighting and scratching and screaming and trying to prove how tough you are, you get deemed as weak. And I don't even care about that. Call me weak. Run up in person. We'll see how weak I am. You know,
weak. But it takes a lot of strength to not respond and to be calculated. I feel like some people underestimate me and think that, oh, I'm scared of them, blah, blah. Fuck no. Not at all.
Scared of what?
You mean so. I could care less what you think about me. I could care less. And if I do respond, I'm responding for a reason. But I have no need to. And I think that people do not realize that these are parasocial relationships. So their favorite content creator, now I'm not talking about the ones that I've met and I have a relationship with, okay? But when you go to a movie and you fall in love with your favorite actor, stuff like that, that's it's a parasocial relationship. You don't know that person. But online, even though they're the same type of relationships, they don't feel like a parasocial relationship. It feels like an actual relationship because they're using words like "I love you" or friend and all those kind of things that are interested in your life. The only difference is that on YouTube and social media, they're able to speak to you. So the boundaries get crossed because you forget that you don't really know that person. They're presenting their best self to you and hiding. I prefer to be transparent. Y'all know the good, bad, blah, blah, blah. But not everybody does it. They present their best self. They have this moral standard that they'll never live up to, but they're going to hold you to it. But it's a parasocial relationship. They have a platform, and that platform, if the relationship falls apart, who does it benefit? It benefits the person with the platform. It's not you. It's commentary for, and I'm not saying this for everybody, but the fact is we don't recognize these relationships as what they are, and they're called parasocial relationships because the person is interacting with you. When you go to a movie, you do not expect to be able to call that person, but your social media influencer, you don't recognize it as the same type of relationship because you're able to interact with them. Did that make sense with that?
Yep.
So I said all that to say what you said. Hey, we don't actually know each other. We're talking to each other. And that's the kind of relationship you're describing. So, and the reason I had looked into that, because I wanted to understand this cult-like mentality of telling people, hey, not to go here because they're trying to attack my platform. No, they don't like to call themselves influencers, because if the person with the platform called themselves by what they were, an influencer, you would not share certain stuff with them because you would know that could become content later. So they like to use the word, some say journalists. They're not journalists. Journalists are held by a code of ethic, right? Some of these people that call themselves journalists can't even spell beyond the 3rd grade level, 2nd grade level, okay? They're not journalists, and they don't want to call themselves influencers, somebody that could just get on a platform and influence people. But and some people say it doesn't matter. It does matter. If a police officer shows up at your house to arrest you, do they not have to Mirandize you? Because there's certain things that you would say to a friend that you wouldn't say to a police officer. So an influencer has to describe themselves as a friend. Why? They can influence you to just go to their platform and to say, I'm good, even though that person lies. Y'all see the biggest influencers lie and all that stuff. But they'll tell you not to go to another person's platform and disguise it as some moral standard, and they won't call themselves an influencer. They'll disguise themselves as a friend. They'll say, oh, this is a safe place. It's not a safe place. Those are influencer words. and they're not going to describe that to you because they don't want you to know that these platforms are highly profitable. It profits them to have.
Are they?
I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about some of the larger ones or some of the ones that you see
Okay.
that use these kind of words. Not everybody. Don't think I'm judging everybody. But when you see someone that comes out here, they could tell a bold-faced lie. They're not great people, but they'll make commentary about other people as if they're better, and no one sees it because of the language, because of the words, because this person is popular, and you see them on a platform, so you assume they're telling the truth, blah, blah, blah. And that's why you see so many people that can lie on here and tell you that this person is bad, but if you look at their life, take everything away, and you'll see, wait a minute, this person did this, this, and this. Why is this person worse than that person? We all share the space and we share certain characteristics, but certain people are demonized and other people are not. And these are reasons why. The language that's used, and it always has to be a moral code. They can't come out here and say, hey, my job is to have audience retention. I want you in my chat. I want the super chats. And if you go over here, you're spending your money over here, blah, blah, blah. They have to disguise it as a moral code. And no one says, wait, but you did this. Like, okay, let's take the doxing. You're mad that this person is doxing, but didn't you just dox so-and-so yesterday? We'll talk about it. And my only point is this, I'm not judging. There's a lot of shame that's used. There's a lot of words that's used. And certain people are just used for commentary. Certain people are judged so other people can look better. And it's also certain platforms can profit and certain ones cannot because they have to present this whole, okay, I'm righteous, I'm better than this person, these people need to be accountable, but yet they don't hold themselves accountable. There's no accountability there because they're influencers, and that's just the way the game works. Did that make sense? Y'all put a one in the chat if y'all understood me, because I said a lot, but that's how these platforms work. And when I started my platform, I said I helped build some platforms, right? I was like, no, I can tell y'all how they make money on here. And I'm talking about the larger ones, and they benefit off of the smaller ones. They'll take the commentary, they'll go to all these different places, grab the commentary, come back, but they'll judge you for that same commentary they took from you. Or they'll talk about you. They'll take somebody that's not that popular, and everybody will talk about them only because the topic is trending. But what would they tell their audience? They're not going to say, I'm talking about her because it's trendy. They'll make it seem like they need to examine a story. They have a different angle. Or they'll ask you to come to their platforms, and you'll see some of them. I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about some of the larger ones, right? They'll have a story. But then that one person will come on their platform, bearing their soul, sharing their story, only for that story to be re-examined and for them to keep being called back to that platform. And they'll make it seem like that person did something wrong when really they made a pretty coin off of that story and they want to revisit it for those reasons. Y'all following me? That's how it works. And that's why you see the same people talked about again and again. It's not because they're so horrible. Because if you look into that person's past, they probably got a criminal record worse than this other person. But that other person is trendy and their story is popular. And if they're trending, everybody covers that story. But they'll say this person likes attention. This person wants you to talk about them because they can't make it seem like they just want to cover you. They got to disguise it. And it's sad. And that's just how it works, though. That's how it works. You have to understand that.
I get what you're saying. I do. You took the long route, but we got it.
Yeah.
But it tickles me how I hear people get on a platform and say, I don't care. I could care less. I don't have no F's to give, and proceed to talk about what they don't care about. Platform after platform. This live was 2 hours talking about the thing that they don't care about. And they go right over to somebody else's platform and for hours on end talk about the thing that they don't care about.
Okay, so now you're talking about some different. He's steady grinding. So now you're talking about, okay, so that's something else. Okay, so you brought up a different point. You're saying, okay, so a person to jump on a platform and say they don't care about something, and then you see them on another platform talking about what they said they didn't care about. Okay, that's a different phenomenon. I don't really understand it.
We see that all the time, though, don't we?
We do.
I don't give a F. And then talk about it for 2 hours, the thing that you didn't give a F about. And I'm not judging people. I mean, work it out the way you work it out. But when I don't care, it means I don't care. I have no energy to give it. I have no conversation for it. When I don't give a F, I don't give an F. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it.
That's a good point. So what I was talking about was from a content creator, like, you know, and not all people, don't think I'm saying every platform's like that. I'm not like that. Newbie's not like that. Okay. I'm just saying when you see certain things. But why do you think a person jumps on these platforms to explain themselves so many times after saying they don't care? Do you think they're seeking validation?
Yes. And sometimes it goes into what you said. It brings numbers and attention. And I guess numbers translate to money. I don't know how that works because I've seen the money versus the views, and it's not enough money for me. I'm not trying to be funny, but yeah, I don't see, and I'm not being judgy or high-minded for the people that do it, the people that it works for. That's fine for them, but for me, I don't ever, and I said this before my little channel was even monetized, I don't ever see this being a numbers situation where I would go against my morals, my ethics, my beliefs for clicks and views. And now that I am monetized and I see a little piece, because I don't go live a whole lot, so I'm sure I know I don't make as much as other content. It's just not enough money, bottom line, for me.
And there's only certain ones, because when you look at what they're talking about, they make in these sectors compared to like some of the larger creators in the manosphere, like they have how many, you know, and it's just not comparable. We're not making the six figures or the, you know what I'm saying? With this kind of content, you have to show me someone, because to me, I see the largest person over here. Who's the largest person well, I say over here, like I'm beef sector, over, you know, in those sectors, and I'm not putting anybody down. Hey, if you like it, I love it.
Right.
But it's pennies on the dollars compared to what other people make. But sometimes some people, especially if you're not used to having stuff, it's enough for them. They don't care.
I guess that's how it is. And then the ones larger, not this sector, but larger content creators who are making the six figures and that whole thing. I mod for a pretty big content creator. I don't even remember how I got that mod stick, but I know that I have it. And I heard that person say that you become, and that always stuck out to me. She said, you become a slave to the algorithm. You have to stay on top of things, and you got to do this, and you got to put this content out to make this money. That could never be me. That could never be me. And a lot of the ones that are making significant amounts of money on YouTube or whatever social, that's all they do. They have quit real life jobs to do this full time. I don't have that type of energy for this. That will never be me. And again, I'm not crapping on the people that do it. Do you get money? It will never be enough for me. And I can't depend on, because when it boils down in you, money that's made on social media is dependent upon who is watching you. Me, I can never depend on money that goes by what somebody else is doing. Like one of my good Judy's, she is an insurance. She sells insurance. Her money depends on who pays their premiums this month. I can't do that. No.
I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? I can't depend on what somebody else is going to do to pay my bills. I have to have stable, I know this is coming by the sweat of my own brow. This is coming. And I mean, a lot of markets are like that. If you can make it work for you, I have friends in real estate. They make it work for them. I can't do it. I can't wait for you to want to buy a house for me to make commission. So it's the same thing.
You're very self-aware though. Like, you know, hey, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I'm willing to do. And I'm not willing to do that no matter what you offer me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're very aware of yourself and what works for you. And I think,
well, hell, I'm old. I've been through a lot. I have to be self-aware.
No, but you got old people trying to pull up and shit. So it don't matter because you got some people that don't have it figured out.
But I would, you know what? What's sad to me is the ones that do it for just, that's not even making the money. They're not even worried about the money. They just want the attention. They want the, I don't know what the heck. That's so, like, how, what it, I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
It could be like the part of the addiction because social media is an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting that validation and that's enough to keep them doing it. Maybe
That's
what I'm thinking because that validation is like, and they're also the ones that's so worried about what everybody thinks, blah blah. They want that like, they want that approval, and they get that from YouTube, and they're not getting that in their actual life.
And I have my moments. Sometimes it just all gets to be too much, and I'm not judgy because I'm here for the mess. All of us, I mean, none of us can say that we don't have some level of messiness in us because look at where we are. Look at what we watch, that whole thing. But sometimes I do take a step back and ask myself, like, what was I doing before I discovered YouTube? And what would I be doing right now if I wasn't watching what's going on YouTube? I have to take those steps back and just kind of shut it down for a little while and get away from it. And I don't want to come off as condescending, but a lot of times watching certain things go on in the sector make me feel better about myself. if that makes sense.
It does.
Because everything that I need is right here in these four walls that I live in. Like all of it is right there. And I hate it. I honestly, wholeheartedly hate it for the people who have to come here seeking it from people that don't give a damn about you. They don't care. You are no more than a number, a click, and a view. And I wish people would understand that. And it's why I handle certain things. Like you said earlier that, you know, I know how to be calm in the midst of a storm because I'm not coming out here. I'm not giving a horse and pony show to people I know don't care about me. I don't have to come out here and prove how tough I am or how many cuss words I know how to say so somebody won't think I'm weak. Damn that. I got people in my real life that know exactly who I am. And I'm rambling. Let me shut up. Yo,
no, I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. And I think, you know what, and we don't even talk about social media addiction, really, and we should. But and I'm not judging anyone, but I'm just saying, and a lot of we're just not really aware of a lot of stuff. And I know for me, when I realized I was online too much, I mean, I'm in class. There's no reason for me to be listening to YouTube, trying to get the tea so I can give y'all some commentary. I'm in class. You know what I mean? And I had to really learn to just turn it off. Now in the daytime, I'm like, no, you can't get me on YouTube. You cannot call me on YouTube in the middle of the day. Because I need that time to just not be online, to just live life, right? But in the beginning, when I first started these classes, I realized that, hey, something is wrong. I mean, I'm sitting out here on my break, jumping on panels, cursing people out. You know what I'm like? And then I try to go back to class and be normal, but I'm still hyped up. So I had to take a step back. Like for me, I thought I had the social media thing under control. And yeah, I do it for, yes, I make money on YouTube, but, and we ain't talking about anything great. But anyways, my point was this, logging it, just like with drugs or anything else, you never really know how bad a problem is until you try to stop it. And I realized that trying to quit means I cannot be online. I cannot be in y'all chats when I am in class or working or stuff like that. And that was just a reality check, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I thought this was going to be easy, but then I find myself with downtime trying to get online. Nope, can't do it. And I just had to stop just like that.
Right. I think we've all been there in some form or another, because there was at one point, and it was in the height of the pandemic, is when I really kind of locked into watching and all of that. There was like no time in the day when I didn't have somebody on YouTube playing in my background. And then I would get, when nobody was live, it was like, oh my God, where's that?
Yeah,
And
something.
I really had to do some, like, girl, when are you listening to music? When is your quiet time with God? When are you reading? When are you, because it was constantly, even when I was cooking, when I was doing whatever, I got somebody on YouTube playing, and that all that stuff get down. Like right now, after we get off of here tonight, even though this has like been a chill, it's not been all of the craziness. Still, before I go in my bedroom, I'm going to go sit in my office and decompress for like 20 good minutes and
Nice.
shake all of the internet crap off of me before I go into my bed chamber. Because I
Nice.
don't want to take all that crap in there with me. So it's just finding a balance. And I had to find one. And also I do want to say, because I do not want to seem condescending when I say that this is all MU. This is all that some people have. They were never the cool kid at school. They were never the popular person. They wasn't the favorite in their family. And here they get to shine. From the beginning of this journey, I have been calling this Fantasy Island, where you just get to be whoever you want to be. How the hell are we going to know if we don't dox and do all that stupid stuff? You get to be whoever you want to be. But the thing is, if this is all some people have, let them have it. It don't take away from you to let somebody that is wearing a 3X think that they have a 16-inch waist. That don't hurt me or you. Let them think it. Let them have it. I'm not being shady. I'm just giving you an example. If it's all they have, let them have it. Let them have it.
But you know what? That's why a lot of people online are miserable, because when your online image, and I've studied this shit, all right, I'm not just telling y'all stuff. All that stuff I was saying earlier is stuff that I have learned either in school, counseling, or whatever, and I'm just sharing it with you, right? But when you present yourself as something else and your real life doesn't even come close to it, it does create some turmoil in your life. And a lot of these people are angry, bitter. They have no problem coming out here screaming and doxing, and they're miserable and they're projecting and all that kind of stuff. Their actual life does not add up to who they're presenting themselves to be online. Okay, it doesn't come close, and it does do something to you mentally. It just does. So yeah, online it feels great, but when you shut that computer off and you have to live with yourself, they'll come right back on here cursing and putting on a show, and that feels great, but then they still have to log off, and it's a cycle.
Right.
It's a cycle. Yeah, so they're not getting over, and yeah, you could pretend and all that stuff, but I'm telling you, psychologically it's doing something to them.
I can believe it, because I'm on the flip side of it. And again, I'm not being funny. It just is what it is. On the flip side of that, I could get on here. I've been called all manner of things. Albinos, sick, weak bitches. People love to talk about my seizures and, deem me as feeble. All of that I've endured and I've listened to. It rolls right off of me, because when I shut this down, I am surrounded by love. I'm surrounded by all the things that I've accomplished in my life. And I don't, baby.
And
you are one of the few people that know what it was that I've done for a living. Have you ever heard me talk about it on here?
No, never.
I don't have to.
Never.
Because I don't have nothing to prove to these people.
And I'm not gonna say shit about it. That stuff. But you can tell in just how you carry yourself, and it doesn't mean that we can't cut up sometimes. But how low will we actually go? And that's because you have people that love you. You got a beautiful home. You got a lot of things going for yourself. Like it's not gonna really bother you what somebody's saying, especially when you know that they're. Thank you, Rob. Especially when that person is not living like you. And a lot of people on here are miserable, bitter, angry, and they want to see you that way. And it's just like you said, online you could be whomever you want to be. Who's going to know unless they dox you? And even if you're doxed, some people you see still will keep going with some facade that they're trying to,
We've seen it happen in real time. The proof was right there. But delusion is real and it's an illness. And some people get locked into it. And it just is what it is. Like I said, I don't mean to come off condescending when I say this. Sometimes when I leave from this area of YouTube, it makes me feel better it makes me thankful. Let me say it that way. It makes me grateful for where I am and what I have.
And that's saying a lot. You're grateful and you have people in your actual life that's pouring into you and they need you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, it does make me sad. Like when my kids are awake, I got logged. I'll leave a stream going and go deal with my kids and stuff like that. And it's interesting how many people will neglect just something that basic. Or, how can you stream for 6 hours without checking on your kid or feeding your kid? You know what I mean? Like you don't see them log off. And I'm not talking about the married ones. I'm talking about the ones that's just there with their child by themselves. You're thinking like, mm-hmm. Where's that baby at? And I'm like this with Lester. He says, I'm here for the mess. I'm here for the beef, but I would never talk about people's kids. And I don't watch people that talk about people's kids and don't talk about unalive folks. And see, that's what I mean. I am too. And I enjoy that. But right now it's also dark. You really got to be careful. It's just dark. And people are becoming desensitized to stuff like that. Like, I heard someone talking about autism and an autistic kid. And I'm thinking, do you know how special that kid is? Do you know that kid has a different way of thinking and communicating? But how distasteful. And I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just saying that the more and more we do it and watch it, the more desensitized. Talking about mm-hmm. somebody whose family member passed away. It's like, can't we hurt like other people? Like that's what I mean by going dark. That's just not fun to me. But that's because it's just not fun to me. It's low, and I kind of wish that we could get back to some balance to where we're not gonna talk about kids, we're not gonna talk about, but I can't tell y'all how to fight either. So I have to shut up there because people say it's cradle to the grave. But I don't know. I guess everybody's different. Because I'm not trying to tell y'all how to fight. But I don't enjoy seeing kids posted. I don't enjoy seeing relatives that have passed away posted. And I don't care who you are, whether I like you or not. I don't enjoy that. I think that there's so many other things that you can drag people on besides that. Mm-hmm. See, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? It is what it is. But then I got to tell you, I'm there for the mess too. And FOMO, fear of missing out, is another thing that keeps people online. You're afraid you're going to miss something, especially in the sectors where you hear one person going off. You want to know why and what the other person's talking about. And then you want to hear the response. And do you know what I mean? You get caught up in it.
Right. I have learned, though, if I miss it, I missed it. I don't even try to go back and catch up and try to figure, because it's just, you go down a rabbit hole, and where does it end? I'm here for what I see. If I'm here, I catch it, I enjoy it. But if I miss it, I just missed it. I don't even ask questions. I just keep on going. And depending on what it is, if you just sit there long enough, they talk about it over and over. So you'll figure it out.
Somewhere.
You end up catching.
Right now, you got what is it? The freshman class. Is King Roman considered the freshman class? But you got them trending right now, and it's like, okay, let them do it. Let's just watch it. You don't have to catch it all because they're going to cover it again. So That's a good point. So y'all don't have to try to catch all the commentary. Catch some recaps, or just wait for them to cover it again, because they will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When are you going live again? You don't know?
I'm working on it, because I have this challenge and everybody keeps asking me, when am I going to do the challenge? I'm still doing my challenge. I kind of tweaked it. I'm gonna do a little something different than what I announced. But MU, this is another thing about me. It takes me, and this is in every facet of my life, it takes me longer to prepare to do a thing than to actually do the thing that I'm doing. Like tonight, I started cooking at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I'm just finishing up because I had to make sure the pots were
Okay.
right. And this was, I'm just, my prep
You're
time.
just now finishing? Is it for tomorrow or today now?
They've eaten, and then I cooked me some stuff that I'm probably gonna eat tomorrow. And then I had to make a dessert. When I get in this kitchen, I just go
Yeah,
berserk.
I was looking, I was like, damn, you got a chef kitchen. I would love my kitchen is no, I just love how open like your kitchen is. Like you have a lot of space to cook. You got a lot of counter space there, girl. You're not lacking for
And
nothing.
you know what? I appreciate you saying that because I hate this kitchen. Now, my kitchen at
Really?
the other house, the house, if you saw the kitchen, I'm gonna have to post some pictures of it. I think I got some in my phone somewhere. My house over there, that big country kitchen, and my favorite feature, that kitchen sold that house to me. But my stove top is in an island in the middle of the floor. Because you know how when you're cooking and you got pots and you got to reach over this pot to get in that. My stove over there is on an island, so you can walk
Wow.
all the way around it. I love that kitchen, and it's all white. And
Oh, that's
I've been
beautiful.
trying to talk Mister into knocking some walls out so we can build an island in the middle of this kitchen. And he's like, lady, no,
No, it's
go
beautiful.
there.
You don't need to do all that. Like it's nice. It's just different than what you've had before. Because I'm
Mm,
like, damn, I love the space. I love how open it is. Ooh, the food challenges I could try to win. But yeah, that's nice. You got your refrigerator over there. That's a nice kitchen. When I move, I want to make sure that my kitchen is like an open space. I have a good
mm,
kitchen now, but it's kind of small actually for what I like. I like your space.
thank
I
you.
have the space, but it's not connected. If that, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's just not connected. So, you know.
Well, I love it. I'm gonna tell you also what I love, what I have at the other house, and I saw it at my oven. See, I just got this one piece stove over there. I have the double ovens that are up high. I don't have to bend to go in my ovens at the other high. I hate that. Yeah, I've worked with,
Yeah,
and this glass top stove. I don't like this. I'm used to cooking on gas stoves.
really.
So yeah, I'm definitely getting rid of this. We're gonna give this to my daughter. She just got a house and she needs we're gonna get rid of this, give that to her, and he
Yeah.
gonna put me a gas stove with gas burners because I don't like the glass top. And it's hard to keep clean. Like I'm
I can
constantly
imagine.
wiping this and it just always looks smeared. I done bought all the stuff that goes with it. It just always looks smeary. But yeah, I'm grateful. Lord knows I'm grateful for what I have. But
Yeah. But you could bless your daughter and then treat yourself. Like,
mhm.
you know, just do that. But
But we have got to we still got to do. I didn't forget. You supposed to be doing a Thanksgiving dinner. We let you slide past it this past November.
we had some mishaps and stuff happening. We had some stuff happening. But yeah, that would be fun. I definitely want to cook. I know I've been telling I would love to try some of Lady Nika's recipes. She's, you know, and stuff like that. But I want her to
Mhm.
try some of my recipes too. I don't know if she'll make my kind of food, like with the calories and stuff. I don't think
Mhm.
because I be trying to give them my recipes, but they're not really wanting it. But yeah, that would be a fun stream. That would be a fun stream. Well, Thanksgiving is a long way off, but what's next? I'm not cooking for Easter.
What's
Yeah,
the next cooking holiday after Easter? What's
Easter
the
is a
next one?
Easter is a
Easter is a
cooking
cooking.
holiday, right? January, February, March, April. Would it be Labor Day? Do we?
Or do
That's
people
like
cook for the
early.
fourth? That's a barbecue. That's like an outdoor cooking holiday, right? The 4th of July.
Yeah, barbecue stuff. And I'm not
Mhm.
grilling. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to pick something.
Right.
I don't
And you
know.
know, I just like to cook, so it could be just a regular Tuesday, and I'll throw down a Thanksgiving dinner for no damn reason. So just whenever y'all ready, let me know.
That
But
would be fun. Yeah, I do want to do that. It would be yeah, maybe after after you know the holidays and stuff like that, since Thanksgiving is a long way off.
mhm,
I think that we should just do that. Like we should do a panel where we're cooking. Not a competition, just a show.
right. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to do that also. I know it's a different thing, but with the poetry, I really want to do like poetry jams or slams or whatever you want to call it on my channel, but I don't want I don't like to compete when it comes to my writing. I don't know why.
Oh, you're
I,
so
I
yeah. That would be nice. Just that would be really cool.
yeah,
There's
just
so many. There's so
bring,
many
and
talented
even
people in y'all sector that
right.
I'm like, y'all got some talent. Like, damn, yeah, that'd be fun.
It is. And even like when I do the poetry slam, whenever I decide to set that up or whatever, even if you're not a writer yourself, if you have a favorite poet and you want to recite some of their stuff, just that whole vibe. That's something I want to do. I like the challenges because it gives us something else to do, but I don't want every time to be about winning a prize. Just come do it for the love of the craft.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
people will probably send you a cash app and stuff like that, because they appreciate it. But yeah, just do it. Do it for the commentary. Do it for, that would be fun. I think that would be cool. Yeah, those are good ideas. And it brings back. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm all for a good roast and a drag. Okay, I am.
Mhm.
But I like the balance of other stuff too. That's lighter. So that way we have
Right.
both, right? Something heavy and then something light.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
I'm down for a good roast in the dry, even if it's me. If you crack one on me and it's funny, I'm gonna laugh. It just is what
Me
it is.
too.
I don't take myself so seriously that I can't be roasted, or But let's do some other stuff too. And, it's room for all of it, and
It's
that's
room
the
for all
thing.
of it.
Like tonight, I don't even remember what you were talking about when I hit the panel, and we've been on this tangent, but I think we covered a lot, and I
We
think
did cover a lot. Mhm.
I hope that something we said helped somebody, enriched somebody, or taught them something that they didn't know.
Me
That's it.
too. Me too. And I'm glad that you came up. I'm glad that you brought up some stuff that I didn't think about. I usually don't watch my videos again, but I am gonna watch this one. You dropped a lot of gems in there, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can see your point. Yeah. So I appreciate that. And I wasn't really talking about anything. I'm just like, hey, I made it to another birthday. You know, my second sober birthday. But I really didn't have a message. My point, I just want to make it to May 21st, which is my sobriety birthday. So
Okay.
it's my sobriety birthday. I have my 2 years. So who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy for you, and just keep going and growing. And that birthday, from people that I know, that one is almost more important than the actual birthday for a lot of people.
For me, it is. And I almost made a post like that today, but I was like, that's going to be hard to explain. But thank you, Lester. It just, for me, is a big deal. The first year was a big deal. So the second one, I'm like, nah, I could do this. I could do this. So, then I'll work towards my third year. But it's just really important for me to get there and to keep hey, Chef Outspoken, and to keep making those strides. Like, it's so special to me, and I can't even express that to you guys. It's like I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for the people that still rock with me, for the people that understand addiction, and the people that are going through their own journeys.
Mhm.
I'm finally on the other side where I could talk about it, and I'm not the commentary. Well, I try not to be the commentary, but I could talk about it, right? And we're not talking about the stupid stuff I've done. We're talking about, like, I could sit here and just chat with you about, hey, what do you think about this? Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It just means a lot
Mhm.
for the
Right.
tables to be turned. I don't need anything. I take care of myself. These conversations are just like, if somebody's listening that's going through something, mental health or addiction, or, we can just talk. And it's just nice. Like you're like, okay, let's do something. Let's do poetry. All those things have a healing aspect if we don't know it
Mhm.
or not. We're listening to those words, and it's something so powerful about about the written word, and then you speak it out loud. It just does
Mhm.
something.
Right. It very cathartic for me when I first started. I didn't know it was poetry. It was just me writing down things that I was going through. And then somebody came along in my life and they found my notebook and like almost like the Betty Wright song, people want to hear about it, Betty. Like you really need to do something with these words. I didn't know that I was writing poetry. I was just expressing
And
things that I
people
was
can
going through.
relate. The way that you write, I mean, it's like it's a gift, and that's your way of expressing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you do that very well. Like
Thank
I would
you.
give anything to be as articulate and can put words together. That's not my gift, but that's how you express yourself, and you sharing that is not. I mean, words mean something. It's very
Mm-hmm.
powerful. You know, your words can make you feel a certain kind of way, and we underestimate it. A lot of times they like to say, "Oh, I'm just trolling," or "I just said that." No, you don't just say things. You speak words. You can speak life
Right.
into someone, or you can speak death into that person. But I think
Exactly.
that people try to underestimate the power of the tongue. So your words are really impactful.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they are. And that's the thing. It just, I still, sometimes people feel like I'm fishing for compliments when when I talk about my writing, because for a very long time, I just felt like it was something that anybody could do because I did not see it as a gift. I didn't see it as art. It was just what I did. I thought, hell, I thought everybody done it. Just write down how you're feeling. And then I had to get across that bridge where now I don't want to recite it for people because it's so raw and it's so real and it's such a part of me that I don't know if I want to give this away. And so I have to be careful with what I recite. And I said this on a video the other day. You will hear me reciting the same things over and over because one, some of them are so personal. I'm not ready to give that away to the public because it's like giving away a piece of you, and you just cannot, every part of you cannot be for sale. And
Mhm.
the other thing is that the pieces that I have the copyrights for, I have a lot of my work, I have the copyrights for a lot of my work. And so I try to stick to only reciting those because I don't want to run into issues, if you
I got
will, with unprotected work. So
I got you.
it's the
Yeah,
whole
that's smart. That's
yeah.
smart. Oh, chef, me too. Newbie makes me calm just by her presence.
Thank y'all. And my other device has died, so I cannot see the chat. So if anybody is down there speaking, I love
Chef,
y'all. I just can't
kid.
see y'all.
But I like but I really did enjoy this conversation. And I love it. And I just think it's important. So I do appreciate you guys' support and stuff like that because these are the kind of things that I want to talk about. And when I get the opportunity to talk about it, then I just love it. And I know, see, you see how words don't come easy for everybody. So there's such a better way to say that, but that was the best that I could do. But no, I really do appreciate these kind of conversations where we can come together and just talk about stuff.
Right.
I just do, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you allowing me to come up and
Anytime.
share and talk and all of the things, but it is 3:27 where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I am going to go ahead and get out of here and go back here and pay this man some attention. He is probably snoring, but I'm about to go back here and cuddle up with him because I can. And I
Oh,
thank God for that.
yeah. Go
But
to your phone.
I have enjoyed this, and thank you so much for allowing me to come up and just kick it with you. This has been wonderful. It really
Thank
has.
you. Thank you. I enjoyed it too. You guys, that's Newbiology 101. Go subscribe. Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you for coming up. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, baby girl. Good night.
Good night. You guys, that was Newbie. I enjoy her. I remember when I first came, she told you guys it was not as friendly in the beginning, but I get it. I get it. And I don't hold any grudges towards anybody. I think she's a wonderful person. And I do remember some of the stuff that she used to tell me. I didn't quite understand it, but she was planting seeds, if y'all know what I mean by that. Like, I didn't get it. But then one day I did, and I just adore her. I think she's a really good person. And, and I enjoyed her for sharing the platform tonight. Thank you. You guys. So that's Newbiology 101. You can find her channel just like that. And yeah, I did appreciate her. So you guys, I'm so I get so shy sometimes. And right now I'm delirious, so I'm gonna keep this short. But Okay, so I had my first day at work, right? I was so freaking nervous. I was nervous, like, will I remember things from school? Will I do a good job? Do I really want to work? Like, what am I doing? Like, I can just stay home and just do nothing and just take care of my kids, right? But I came too far to do that. So I need to get that kind of thing. Sometimes our brain starts to doubt stuff because it wants to keep us safe. But I made a commitment and this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna keep going. Keep going. Like I said, I want to finish some degrees that I started years ago and work on another program. But it's not easy to change. So that's something I'm working on every day. So if you guys can relate to that, you know, I get it. But it's not easy to change. It takes work. And I'm still, I still have to convince myself. Well, if I set goals for a day, I try to finish that. And enough of that stuff. Thank y'all for rocking out with me. My brain is tired and I don't want to just ramble and go on and on, but I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate your comments and your feedback, and I try to respond to you guys. So have a great rest of your day. Thank y'all for rocking out. Thank you for the birthday wishes, and you guys have a great night. Okay, thank y'all for listening to me, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.